I don't know what it is. We're gonna continue from yesterday. Eddie Hearn's interview.
He's going to fight for the Zuffa belt, which is like literally the same value as your laces, no shoes. And then, but Edgar's different. Edgar's not really, I don't think, going to go and win world championships and unify the division. But if he could make money,
Yeah.
do it. And I think it's a good move for him.
How do you gauge a fighter's value? Like somebody like Hitchens, right? Like, how do you gauge it? Because you're like,
Very, very simple.
yeah,
Bums on seats in the venue
yeah.
and eyeballs on the screen. That's it.
That's what it boils down to for you
That's it.
personally, not
But
the business, not the underlying guy.
No,
Frank
that's
Smith,
the
for you.
model. No, the same for Frank Smith.
Okay.
Or Frank Smith,
Yeah.
because that's your revenue generator. Because if you don't sell tickets, you're not bringing a revenue to the show. If you don't draw eyeballs, DAZN are going to say this guy doesn't deliver value for us, and that's the problem that we've had with Richardson, but a lot of fighters as well.
Yeah.
You know, like the reality is, but everyone's different. You've got Edgar who sells more tickets than Richardson, but probably isn't as talented. But Richardson that sells no tickets, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
So you can't just we have to do our job of trying. That's why I got him the Cambosis fight at MSG. I paid up the rental of the theatre, which is a fortune.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to try and build him to try and turn the corner of becoming a star. Do you know what I mean? But it's definitely not
So you're
easy.
willing to take a loss to try to.
We
get
did,
it?
yeah, we did. But we might, at that time, I mean, Keith Connolly messed up bad because he got offered a brilliant deal from us like a year ago, but they messed it up, and then they ended up getting half of that.
When you say
to
messed
fight
it up,
Duarte.
does that just mean over negotiating? Like you're overcooking?
Yeah, it's greedy, like but you got to push for your fighter. So, but you've also got to know a great deal when you see one.
Yeah.
And then they ended up getting half of that to fight Duarte, which obviously he pulled out of the day before. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But I hope, listen, you become toxified by the business and the sport sometimes. But he actually has a good heart. Like he's a good kid, Richardson.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you lose your head a little bit. I always laugh when you go on Instagram stories and he's like that. With the
shining the
Rolex,
diamonds.
and
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn. Eddie,
Yeah,
you know
and
he's
got like the Mercedes badge on his car. It's like,
Yeah.
But listen, good luck to him. Good luck to him.
I mean, listen, the boxing business is a nasty one. I mean, we watched it play out with you and Conor Ben, obviously. He did an interview yesterday where he said, he said he didn't regret his decision, but he also was like, I got love for Eddie. I didn't, there's no hate in my heart for Eddie.
Yeah.
I mean, do you look at it like it was just a business decision that he could have done better?
It's
or
business's decision.
It's all business decisions. What kind of question is that?
Decisions are fine. Like, there's nothing. The argument of this is, well, I had to do what was right for my family.
Yeah.
Cool. I would always want that for you, as my friend. But you don't think that after everything I did for you, which was save your career, which was make you, I don't know, 20 million, which was bring you back from the lowest depths of reputational damage and stand by your side and fight for you every inch of the way, that I deserve for your lawyer to write me an email to say, here's an offer we've had, match it.
Yeah.
And then when I text you and say, hey, let's have a chat. Like, I feel like, we've done a lot for you, to get a reply to say, no, like, deal with my lawyer, and once it's all over, I just thought, wow. But that just goes.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is exactly how the promoters play games. The reason they want relationships with these fighters, so when those messages do come from the lawyer with the 15 million and all these millions and whatnot, they can make that call to you and be like, "Yo, let's talk. This, and that. I've done a lot for you. This, but yeah, that's the past, buddy. I need to get it now." And he's sitting there acting like he doesn't understand how the game operates. Everybody's running their own independent contracted business. Like, do you have the money for him or do you not? Yes, we friends. This is why sometimes you really shouldn't do business with your friends because of reasons like this. And he's talking about how he felt, this and that. This is not a game of feelings. Feelings get you hurt in boxing. So it's frustrating to see a business, quote unquote, mogul like Eddie Hearn say something as foolish as that. Like, your relationship doesn't matter when the bigger checks come. Like, you could still be friends after if you was really friends. If he was really his friend, he'd be happy. He's making all this money at the end of the day.
To show the man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different people. Let's take Anthony Joshua. If someone approached Anthony Joshua and said, listen, I've got a massive deal for you. right? Don't tell Eddie.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. The first thing he would say was, speak to Eddie. He wouldn't even go on then. What's
relevant? Why is it relevant what another man's decision would be as opposed to somebody that's trying to make more money? His decision would be. If Anthony Joshua did it, that's good on him. He's loyal to you. That's good for him. He may not need money like Conor Ben needs money.
Number.
Right.
He'd go, Eddie's my guy. Speak to him. Done.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you did say, all right, let me know that if you wanted to go down there and find out the number, I don't hold that against you. But then what you do is you phone me up and you go, just to let you know, these people have called me. They've offered me 15 million.
Yeah.
Right? And I go, they've offered you 15 million for a 10-rounder against Regis program.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay, well, listen, firstly, seems like Turkey might be involved, whatever. Let me go and see if that exists. And if not, I think you might have to take that deal.
Right.
That's how it would have played out.
Right.
And just like I said to you before about Canelo, about Turkey, as long as you know where you stand and people are up front with you, can look you in the eye and say, listen, mate, whether you think this is right or wrong, this is what I've got to do.
Yeah, I got that.
You go, no problem. And I'd say to him, I'm so happy.
He's basically saying he understands why he did it, but he's still mad.
For you. You know, I'm disappointed we're not involved, but, you know, maybe we can be involved. Maybe we can, you know, help structure the deal, whatever.
Yeah.
But what he chose to be was greedy, cut me out, not have the
Him getting the offer from himself is greedy?
balls, really. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Because what you've actually shown is your weakness as a man. And I heard his dad, you know,
his dad say,
his dad was disappointed, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. But his dad has also got a back, Conor. You can't, you know. But also at the same time, I don't think there's anybody who has an ounce of common sense or respect or, you know, pride or goodness in their heart that doesn't agree that how can you not even speak to the guy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We never fell out.
Yeah.
We were close. He leaned on me at all times. I lent him, you know, this is a thing.
He says you didn't lend him any
and he'll
money.
be apologising in public because he'll also, legally, he's got a problem. Because when he said that, he said, no, he never lent me a cent. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Firstly, I lent you $500,000 to buy a house. And then secondly, I lent you nearly another $500,000 to buy a car, which you never paid me back.
Why would you lend another man money to buy a vehicle?
For 3 years with no interest until I said, when you're good, we'll deal with it then.
So that's the game right there. He puts the down payment early on, and he knows he could bring back up later when the bigger offer comes. He always knew the bigger offer was coming. He's just mad that Conor Ben took it.
Yeah. Then he said, no. What actually I meant was he never lent me money for my legal fees. So he wanted me to lend him money to defend the 2 drug tests he's doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't we? Oh. And then my team come back and went, yeah, we did. And what made it worse for me after that was I realised that I lent him the money for the legal fees and I never even asked for it back. And he still lied in the interview.
Wow.
And I said to him, look, I'm not trying to be like a pussy here.
Yeah.
But you can't say that when you know I did. So he's going to have to apologise for that, which he will. He'll make a public statement. But I don't want any bit. But you can't sit there and say all these things that are just completely untrue.
You mean defamation?
Let's see if Conor Ben makes his public statement. Eddie Hearns is speaking with the confidence.
Basically.
Yeah, but again, I'm not like, you know, that's not something that I'll make a habit of. I've done it a few times where I say, you just can't. Like if I'm telling you what I did, and he comes out and he says, no, he never, and it's a straight lie.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to sit there and go, you can't make people question what I'm saying when I've got no reason to lie.
Yeah.
But he's a bit mad. Like he's a very emotional kid. It won't be easy for him, this whole thing, because he doesn't like negative. Like he doesn't like people criticising him. And there's been he'll get booed out of the stadium on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard a lot of people are against, you know, UK fans.
Yeah,
like
big time. But do you know what? That's infuriating, because I worked for years to turn it all around for him. And he actually, after the Eubank fight, was a very popular fighter.
I was there for the second.
Yeah, and now you'll see on Saturday. But yeah, he'll get booed out of the stadium.
Would you consider working with him again? Like they said, it's a
very
one-fight
difficult.
deal.
Yeah, it's not. It's all bullshit anyway. Like and by the way, there's a legal problem on that as well, because you dress it up in a way so that it can't be matched. Whereas the underlying truth is, do you think that there's been no conversations between Keith Connolly and Zuffa about a longer term deal? Or are you stupid? Like, so there's something called disclosure, which is great and stuff like that, because you get to see it when you want.
Yeah.
It did come out after the fight that it was just a one fight deal and they're looking for other options right now. So we'll see if that holds up. We'll see who's lying.
And we'll make sure that, you know, we weren't lied to, which I have my doubts.
Yeah.
But
if he came to you like, listen, Eddie, you know what? Let's just say it was a one fight deal.
It'd be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, firstly, you need the conversation of, like, honestly, this is one of those things where I'm renowned for letting things slide and moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually one of my dad will say to me all the time, how the fuck do you, like, didn't that guy, like, I'm like,
Barry
yeah,
not
but you know
playing
what?
that?
No, Barry's like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. He's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, don't ever, ever show your face around here again.
Right.
For life, to the grave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that.
But I'm not. I'm like, listen, it's like, I care, but people can change, people can get bad advice, like, but this is a weird one. It's like, I'm getting angrier.
Right.
Because I'm watching his interviews, I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like I've been played. Do you know what I mean? I'm listening to him going, what are you, a compulsive liar or something?
Yeah.
Like, I've had you in my office on your knees in tears. Like, and I've actually gone to the depths, even myself. Like, you know, like, you may know, you're not, like, I went for a couple of years of heavy stick.
Oh, I remember.
Like, I was getting battered, yeah? And I was like, no, fuck you. I believe in this kid. I'm standing by, and it was like...
When they said the eggs, they was killing them.
No, of course, yeah, but it was like, no. And then I'm listening to this back, I'm like, what was it, a bluff? Like, what? So it's actually making me more angry.
Yeah.
And the fact is he's never tried to say, listen, can we have a chat? Can we have a meet up? But honestly, if he did now, I'm not even sure what I'd do. Like, ordinarily, I'd go, yeah, cool.
What would y'all do? You taking the 15 million, or you trying to meet up with him and hear what he got to say? I know my answer.
Like, we'll have a chat, but I don't know. It's a weird one.
I wanted to ask you about the Dana thing, because you said you guys are managing the UFC fighters now. Obviously, you got Tom Aspinall was the first signing. I kind of liked it when you did it. Like, it kind of, you know, it showed me you got some balls, right? Like, you pulled the Conor, you pulled your move. For you, was that something you were already looking into, or was it like, you know, we got a match that just happened?
As a group, I think we have massive potential as a management agency. We don't want to manage boxers because it's a conflict of interest, and obviously you can't in the US because of the Muhammad Ali Act anyway. Another thing they're trying to get abolished. So we've been looking at an agency for some time, and then obviously this happened, and then Tom Aspinall's dad reached out to me. He's like, look, you know, I've got a few problems. Would you ever think about representing? And I was like, wow, this is cool. So Eddie signs the UFC undisputed heavyweight champ. Yeah. And it allows me to look at their business, look at the contracts. And of course, you know, from a profile perspective, a noise perspective, it was interesting. But I also believe I can do a great job for Tom. And we're doing that already.
Yeah.
And it's frightening what I see when I open up those contracts, you know. Like, I mean, we live in a world in boxing where, and good luck to them, but fighters are drastically overpaid in terms of the revenue in the pot.
Yeah.
Right? In UFC, they're drastically underpaid in terms of the revenue in the pot. But, like, literally, Tom Aspinall, who is one of the biggest names in UFC, is the heavyweight undisputed champ. Like, you've got guys who are opening up the broadcast on shows that most people have never, ever heard of that are making more money than Tom Aspinall.
That's crazy.
And it's like, I can't believe it. By the way, congratulations, UFC. What a business.
Yeah.
That ain't fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not fair. Like, and Tom Aspinall comes out of a bout, gets 2 of his eyes gouged out. He's had 3 operations on his eyes or 4 operations on his eyes. For what? Like, now he's got a rematch Pereira or Game. Like, it's not even really, for the money he's supposed to be getting, it's not even really worth it. By the time you pay your taxes and your team, what, to go back in there and lose your sight or something like that? Like, you've got to be fair. If there's 80 million in the pot, don't be giving my guy $1 million. Fuck, it's main event.
Yeah.
You know?
I see. Tell me about this. We just had the Wilder Chisora fight. It was a good, like, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the old guys. It felt like two of my uncles like rumbling in the backyard. It didn't feel like a boxing match. But you know, there was the one clip where you guys are standing on the side, you and AJ. He walks right by you, doesn't look at you, no one says anything, but you can feel the tension like in the clip. Yeah. It's like a thing. What did you make of that moment? Like him just
great. Like, I mean, it's like we need that, right? And that was the thing with Wilder and Chisora is, I mean, I was 6 feet away. It wasn't the sweet science, but it was gripping. It was thrilling. It was like, and obviously AJ was there screaming and shouting because he loves Derek. And, you know, I never really, do you know what? Through the whole fight, I never really even thought about AJ v Wilder. And then when we were standing on the ring walk area and he was walking down, it's quite a famous scene now. I was like, oh, fuck. Like this. And he came down and he's like, let's do it. And AJ just sort of went.
Just looked at him.
But everyone around was like, whoa. Like, and I started thinking to myself, this is a big fight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, they're both, like, AJ's definitely in the back end of his career. Wilder's definitely in the back end of his career. You know, I said yesterday, I think some of them...
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
We're going to fight before we fight Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking to fight Tyson Fury. We'll see what happens at the weekend, but probably around November time. So we're going to fight around July. I said yesterday, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but we'll take Wilder as our warm-up in July.
Yeah.
When you imagine AJ went Wilder and Fury straight off the bat in 2026, especially after everything that's happened to him.
Absolutely.
You know, like, I think, and listen, Wilder will always be dangerous, but I just think AJ flattens him.
But why did it not happen before? Because I interviewed Wilder in December.
Don't forget that everybody signed for that fight.
Yeah.
And the night that he lost to Joseph Parker, we were getting in the ring, doing a face-off and announcing the fight.
Yeah.
Right? So it was done.
So if he would have won that would have happened.
Done. Both guys had signed.
But I'm saying, so look, I interviewed him in December. It went viral, but there was a time he said, I offered them, my people sent the offer for $50 million. And he said, I think Joshua wanted it and Eddie was the one that turned it down.
What he did was, he sent an email from Deontay.wilder@gmail.com. Swear truth, right? Might have been a Yahoo account, right? But from his own personal account, saying, hello, Eddie, Anthony, whatever. I would like to offer 50 million for you to fight me. That was it, right?
Yeah.
So I reply and I go, thank you, but could you tell me, like, could we get a contract?
Yeah.
Who's paying the money? What's the details? Blah, blah, blah. And they come back to me and they said, you have to confirm you accept the fight before we give you that information or send you a contract. I'm like, fuck, what is this? This is like, so I said, no, send the contract and we'll, you know, and that was it. But for me, it was always a game to say, well, we offered them 50 and they turned it down. It's like, all we did was ask for a contract. I never replied saying no. I just said, where's the money?
Yeah.
Like, I can't take, is this even Deontay Wilder? I don't know. Could be some guy, next thing I've got to pay a 20 grand deposit into an account to get the contract. I don't know, is it? Right. So that was what happened. But back in those days, it was wild because then Al Heyman, John Skipper from DAZN, I think Lou DiBella, whoever it was at the time, they all had a meeting. And then Wilder got offered something crazy, like 40 million, 60 million, so like a multi-fight deal. And they turned it down. And Al turned it down. You know, and it was like, I've got to be honest, like there was a lot of bad feeling at that time between AJ Wilder, me, Al. Like, I had a meeting in New York with Al to talk about the fight.
Is you and Al?
Yeah, me, Al, and Shelley Finkel.
Yeah.
And he weren't happy. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, and I'm still trappy, but not as trappy as I used to be.
Yeah.
And he don't like me, or he didn't like me then. Because I met him previously when he wanted to do the Chavez Froch fight, and he was all over me. Very pleasant. When I met him this time, he didn't even want to look me in the eye. I thought, this fight ain't happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's what happened. But I think everyone's matured. I mean, Wilder's matured. You can tell that he's like, of course. And I have as well. So, Now I'm like, whatever, let's just make the fight. Whereas back then it's like, fuck you, no, fuck you, no, all right, we're not doing it.
Right.
Which is, not good, really.
How does it get for you to be that close with AJ? Like you building friendships with your clients in that way? Because I feel like, I would say it's like a dangerous game, but right, like how the Conor thing is.
I want that because I want to be emotionally invested in the journey, because that's the enjoyable part, right? I don't want it to be a job. I don't want to just worry about it. I want to see you achieve your dreams, make a load of money, but I want a small, not just a percentage of the money, but a percentage of the emotion. My dad always said to me, if you can get 1% of the adrenaline that a fighter gets when they walk to the ring, you're very lucky. I feel like I get 50% of that adrenaline sometimes. Actually today is the 10-year
That's an excellent quote. I'm taking that one down.
anniversary of when Anthony Joshua won the world heavyweight title.
Oh, wow.
And I look back, I've been working for him now for coming up to 15 years. That's a long part of my life. That's like over, like a quarter, a third of my life. And he's been a big part of my life.
Sure.
And I have so much respect for him as a person and a fighter. But like, you look at the Conor Benns, like these people are like chalk and cheese. He signed a lifetime contract with me, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But before that, he signed 3 extensions, right? And I'll tell you a story because Dana White's relevant. About 2 contracts ago, the media ran a story. AJ in talks with Dana White. And I'm like, the fuck?
Right.
So it's in the paper, right? So I go and see AJ and we've got a media thing and I went, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he called me out of the blue. And I'm like, what? And he went, I told him straight away, I said, I'm with Eddie. He said, but we had a good chat. Like we talked for like half an hour. Because AJ likes to listen. And so I'm like, what?
Did it make you feel like,
yeah,
like, oh,
no,
shit,
but I was like, what? And then, funnily enough, about 6 months later, I went to Dana's office and we had a meeting. And I said, oh, I hear you spoke to AJ. He said, yeah, and you know something he said to me? Within the first 5 seconds, just to let you know, I'm not leaving Eddie. He's my guy. But let's talk. He goes, and I respected that. I was like, wow. Like, and he's been offered deals along the way when our contract had come to an end that were much better short-term money options for him.
Right.
And when you looked at them, again, fur coat, no knickers, when you looked at the outset, you were like, wow. But then it was like, oh, you got to do this, and it's a 5-year deal, and blah, blah, blah.
Extension.
But he never even, it was like, let me look at that. It was just like, no, I'm with Eddie. So whatever, but Eddie can look at it. And, and I've got so much respect for him because there's a few fighters, probably a handful of fighters that I feel the same way about, like AJ, that I would literally, like, in an empty room with 1 or 2 people, they'd have you back in a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And in life, there ain't a lot of people like that.
That's true.
Especially in a game like boxing. So I will always be indebted to him, not just as a company, because he's helped us and he's now a shareholder in my business because of what he's done for me and the company.
Was there a moment that made y'all that close like that? Was there a specific?
He's always been very, like, you got to really build and earn his trust. Like, he's always been quite a sort of curious.
Yeah.
But like, I remember once he said to me, when we just started working together, he went, "You're not like Don King, are you?" And I'm like, "Mate, no, Don King, like, literally did time for murder." Do you know what I mean? Like, but it takes time for him to really trust you, because you get told, these guys, be careful. The promoters, whoa. But actually, I think that's actually a bad rap for promoters. I actually think promoters care, and I think in general, of course, they've got a business to run. But there are bigger snakes out there than promoters, trust me when I say. But like, I like the guy a lot. He inspires me a lot. And also he's one of those guys where you can learn a lot from, because he gets every ounce out of his ability and his life. He works hard, and I think that's admirable, that he's still to this day on the grind, like working harder than he did and smarter than he did even when he started. when he had nothing.
There's a couple more questions. When you found out about the accident and you got the call, like, where were you? What did you think? Like, did you know he was
I was
safe?
on holiday, actually. And a journalist that I know from the UK, literally I woke up and the phone was going with this guy, Riaf is his name. And he only really calls me when there's quite a big story. Do you know what I mean? So whenever I see his number, I'm like, fuck.
Something,
So I go, so I went, Riaf. He went, hey, mate, I just wondered if you've heard anything from Anthony about the car accident. And I hadn't even been on social or anything at this stage. I'm like, what? Anyway, he sent it all to me. I'm like, obviously called AJ, but he didn't have his phone. Like, you know, and then it starts coming back that he's okay, you know, and obviously you can see the video of him getting in the ambulance or police car or whatever, in pain. And then they said that they think some people in the car might have died. And then I started speaking to his friends and the team, and it's like, we found out that Cena and Lance, or I noticed they were on the trip. And you're just like, please, you know, and then obviously you see some videos surfacing, you see some guys on the floor, it's horrible, and, you know, we knew it was them, and it was just like, I think, even for us, and, you know, I knew those guys for 10 years plus, we weren't like speaking every day, but they were great souls. Like, you'd say, hey, what's up? Yeah. And even I can't digest it, you know? Like, it's difficult for me to comprehend that those guys won't be there anymore or around. For him, who spent every day with those guys, like, you could only imagine the pain, physical and you know, he's a very strong mind, but he's also a deeply spiritual, and he's a very deep thinker. Do you know what I mean? So my immediate concern was always him. And that's like, even now people will say to me, is he okay? Like, I don't think you ever really get over something like that, if I'm honest, but you manage it, right? And the thing that helps him manage it is boxing. And the regimental lifestyle that saved him in the first place. Do you know what I mean? When he was in trouble, when he was losing a little bit of direction in life, where he had no motivation, where he had no path, where boxing gave him that. So now I see him back in training camp, I'm happy. And I feel safe for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when he's out and he's injured, that was the worst thing. You know, he had some terrible injuries from the accident. And that was like, he was still in the gym trying to do his recovery and stuff like that. It's like, but then I know he's at home on his own. And that's when you're sitting there and you're thinking and your mind's going. And, I mean, how do you sleep? You know? And then, once he starts recovering, which is now, he's only lucid, training twice a day, you get that purpose back in life. You know, where you're like, there's a means to my work and my life. And when he's in that era, when he's in that mode, he's happy. Do you know what I mean? He'll still be in pain. He'll be in pain forever. But that's his happy place. So right now, I love what I'm seeing for him, which is a motivated AJ. You know, he's going to the Fury fight this week. He don't go to fights. He went last week. Now he's going this Saturday. So he wants to smoke.
Okay. Lastly, we got a couple other Shakur Foster, Ray Ford finally done.
Nearly. I mean, look, Ring, Mike Coppinger gladly announced that was done. Mason Cordina was done. Neither are done. Ford Foster is close. Mason Cordina talks. But Ford Foster's a great fight.
I love that.
Like, when there's, like, sometimes you get guys together and I'm looking at it, I go, this is a big fight. And I got those two together. I'm like, just roll, guys. Like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm going, fuck. I'm like, perfect. So, yeah, May 30th, hopefully, another great World Championship fight.
Okay. Well, listen, man, Eddie, I appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Very great interview. Mr. Eddie Hearn, we out of here.
John Jones is retired. John Jones is not sure that he's retired. John Jones is not going to fight again. John Jones might have to rethink his career because being at the event gave him a fire he hasn't felt in a very long time. Now, I did not just give you a 10-year synopsis. I did not just give you a 10-month synopsis. I didn't give you a 10-day synopsis. This all happened over the weekend, and it creates a massive problem. Look, I can't do business with Jon Jones. I mean, I just can't make any money with him. I have not been able to bring you guys a Jon Jones topic in about 18 months that you've been interested in. And I have my own hypothesis why. And allow me to give you a great example. But when Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall were going to fight, that did not start off with the bang that I believe those guys thought it was going to. Like when Jon goes to the press conference and goes, I need $30 million. Like this was not as red hot of an idea as many other heavyweight fights, but it was still a pretty good idea. I mean, it kind of represented everything. Tom is really big and Jon is not, and Tom is really young and Jon is not, and Tom's got a belt, but Jon's got a shinier belt. Like, I mean, this was a really interesting juxtaposition, and then it just started dying. Now, I've never seen that. Listen, I'm going to tell you.
Honestly, I never had any interest in Aspinall versus Jones, especially at the time it was coming out. I thought nobody's taking Jones.
Something, and I don't say this lightly. Champions are built on recovery, and recovery starts with sleep. I have been loving Bear Mattress for a while.
We're going to jump ahead of that.
Then off. You're welcome. I have seen fights where you start with something, right? And then you put the fuel on it. You put the fuel on it, and there's that flame, and it starts roaring. I watched this cannibalize itself. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall just got smaller and less interesting and less headline. It just got smaller and smaller and smaller. I've personally never witnessed anything like that. But I have a hypothesis. And that was simply that you, the audience, who quit caring about Jones versus Aspinall, just didn't believe that you could get it. And that really started at the post-fight press conference when Jon came out and said, you know, I need 10 times my contract. And it just got worse from there. And it got to where I could no longer make videos about it. I was getting that few of clicks. Sponsors were pulling out. Engagement in the audience, they just weren't there. But I believe that was actually like a human defense mechanism by you, the audience, who really did like the idea of Jon versus Tom, who really would have liked to have seen Jon and Tom fight, but you just felt like you're going to get your heart broken because you weren't going to be able to get it. That's what I think. So when we end up in a situation like this with Jon, where he's in, he's out, and I mean, he's totally in. He wants to fight for the world championship. He wants to fight at the White House. He'll fight anybody. So he's totally out. Don't even book him, release me, let the drug testing go. I'm all done. When you do that, you can't count on a guy like that. And from what we've been told, the entire knock on Jon and why he didn't get on the White House card is because they couldn't count on him. And it's a very tough spot. It really is. Like, my days of giving Jon a hard time are behind us. There's another side to Jon, and I kind of like telling about that side. I kind of like telling you about Jon the gentleman. I kind of like telling you about Jon very funny. I kind of like telling you about the Jon Jones that's kind of nice to be around. But as far as trying to book fights or defend Jon or act as though there's certain directions, like, to be able to take a guy at his word, right? But Jon gives us such crazy, I'm out, release me, I'm gonna go to bare knuckle boxing, I'm in, any opponent, any way you want to do it. It's really hard. Okay, so Jon comes out this weekend and they sit him in the audience and he's with Gable. Now, history will always repeat itself. Jon Jones was that young kid. And Jon Jones was helped by somebody called Rashad Evans. And Jon was a young kid, hadn't fought in the UFC, and Rashad Evans was the champion of the world. And as Jon started to win, he was going to have to face Rashad Evans. He was becoming a #1 contender. Many thought could even become the world champion. He's going to have to face Rashad Evans. But that wasn't an option because Rashad was a teammate and a mentor and a friend. And when that became a bridge too big, not only did they fight, but Rashad left the gym completely, moved away, left the state for that matter. Now, I share that with you because what does Gable mean? Well, what does he mean? If Gable has one fight in
He is really forcing this Gable thing.
the UFC, Gable will have a ranking in the UFC. Do you understand that? John Jones does not have a ranking. So just on its face value, just as soon as we put a number next to Gable, Gable has now surpassed John. And you can think that's silly all you want, but you go get 3 wins on Gable. The right 3 wins on Gable, he could be fighting for a world championship. If he's fighting for a world championship,
3 wins is a lot in the UFC, bucko.
it closes the book on a return of John. And this is going to happen around him. It's not going to happen with him. The house will always win. The house is going to win here. I'm not totally clear on what the play is, but I've got a pretty good idea on what the play is. And when you announce that you're signing Gable Stevenson, you don't need a John Jones. But you brought John Jones. And John is in a spot. John doesn't really understand what we're doing here. It's one of these things. He does not get it. So John will be a willful doofus in his own demise. Like there was no part of John being present that was needed for the arrival of the Olympic champion, the undefeated prospect, the NFL, the WWE, Gable Stevenson. And I share that because while John's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, there's going to be a day that John's going to want to fight again. And not just a little bit. Not like I'm willing to or this is a big opportunity. John Jones does not have enough money to not fight again.
How do you know how much money another man has?
Period. Full stop. He must fight. And when Gable comes up, there's nowhere for him to go. I mean, nowhere for him to go. He's participating in his own demise. And he's doing interviews, and he's making it very unclear, and he's going against his own word. And if the biggest knock on John is that you can't trust John, what do we do over here? I am a guy that would like to see John fight. I'm, believe it or not, a John supporter. Believe it or not, at the end of the day, like if nobody was looking,
What y'all think, man? Y'all think John fighting?
and I had my choice, and I could really help John or I could really hurt him, I'd help him for sure, 100% of the time. But what can I do if he says he's never going to fight again? He is going to fight again. He says he's got the hottest prospect and he's going to coach him all the way to a world championship, or he says I am the best in the world and I should be holding the world championship. Like they can't go together. They can't both be true. And it was a very hard thing to watch John come out and say, I'm retired. I don't know if I'm retired. It's a very hard thing to hear him say, I felt a fire that I haven't felt in a really long time. Like these are really troubling to make sense of. And I mean, this is John Jones. This is amongst the top 3 greatest fighters to have ever done it. And these aren't headlines. John Jones coming out and telling Schmo, I'm not retired, or John Jones telling Helen the night before, I am retired. Neither one of these were headlines. You have to search them out. And what that tells me is that the other writers are in the same spot as I am, which is you can't make any money with John. There's no point in putting him in the headlines. There's no point in talking about him. We've got no direction. What are we going to do? We're not going to take a guy at his word, or we're going to take his word, which greatly contradicts the words that he said the night before. It creates a very unusual and difficult position. And Dana White came out and spoke about this. And Dana said, man, there's nothing different than it has been in the last 10 years. Dana said, I told Lorenzo a decade ago, we can't make a business off this guy. You can't count on him. When he shows up, is it fun? Sure. But you know the result ahead of time. It's very difficult. And I will just tell you, I'm in a different spot. I don't have to book John. I don't have to take any risk with John. I get all the reward. John goes out, does something interesting. I make a piece. I put it out. Sponsors come to the table. Then all of a sudden, my Bentley payment gets made. But I can't do business with John. I don't have a story to tell you. Imagine if I tried. Hey guys, I got a great source on John Jones. It's John himself. John says, and I quote, I'm retired. Hey guys, I got a great source on John. As a matter of fact, it was John himself. John says, might fight again. Oh, by the way, those statements were made 24 hours apart. You're not going to respect that. It's not how men talk. There was never a doubt when Khabib said, I'm done, that we were never going to get him again. But there was a respect. While there was no doubt, there was respect.
There was definitely doubt about getting Khabib again. That's why Dana White made all those offers to him. But the realest thing Chael said was, that's not how men talk. The realest thing he said on the video.
Because we knew we could trust him. We knew that his word meant something. Whether we liked it or not, whether we liked what he was saying or not, we knew we could count on it. And it's an interesting thing. I think that John should do interviews. I think when John goes quiet is like his way of punishing somebody. Like, John would not come over here and interview with me. But it wouldn't be because he doesn't have a message or that he has anything against you guys. He thinks in his arrogant mind that he would be helping me. I'm going to punish Chael by not giving him the interview. But he thinks like that. And it's not just with me. He's got a whole list of people that he will not go out and do interviews with. But if people aren't talking about you, you're not in the headlines, you can't make any money. Everybody took a bump this weekend. Everybody in the heavyweight division, all the way up to Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall went into the weekend one of the most talked about guys. Alex Pereira went into the weekend never having fought in the class as one of the most talked about guys. Everybody took a bump because the heavyweight division now has Josh Hokett. That's who they want to talk about. That's who they want to see. That's who they are talking about it. That's who's in the headlines. I mean, what a difference a day can make. So if you want to take your services and you want to pull your oars out of the water, go right ahead. But to make believe that a new guy is not going to come along and take your spot, that's just delusion.
He's ducking you. Talking about ducking.
Yo, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the rest. Look, I ain't just finna just talk some shit, you know what I'm saying? Yesterday, I was just talking some shit. However, I meant every damn word, but, you know, let's put some context behind, you know, my thoughts, man, and my opinion. You know, starting with Conor Benn. Look, Conor Benn, look, man, I've been watching Conor Benn for some time now. I've always been very critical of Conor Benn, you know, because I didn't see what everybody else saw. You know, and it makes perfect sense because Conor Benn has only had 22 amateur fights. You know, the dude started boxing late. You know, he's the son of a legend, but he started boxing late. You know, like,
how old is late?
He is literally like the testament of a living trust. Oh yeah, the testament, because I'm telling y'all, if dad wasn't involved, if dad didn't pay the way, he wouldn't be where he is right now. He wouldn't be. Seriously. You know, 22 amateur fights, with the amount of fights that he had now in the professionals, I think he'd been started boxing around 16, 17, you know, turned professional around 19. You know, he was 20-2 with 2 losses, you know, 20 wins, 2 losses as amateur. It's 48 fights altogether in his entire career, amateur and pro. You know, so like when we talking about, you know, how trash he is and sorry he is, it's because, you know, he's considered to be elite. You know, you can look him up on on BoxRec. He got 5 stars next to his damn name, like he's done something, and he ain't done shit. You know, it's in the fight, in the fight with Regis Prograis. You can see, Regis was one of those guys that started late as well, but you can see the experience of Regis, uh, start to show through. Now, you know, Connor Ben and his team, made the adjustment and went down to the body of Regis and started to slow down and kind of take the fight out of Regis. However, Regis was in the fight. He was catching Connor Ben with some shit. And it's just the inexperience and the low IQ of Connor Ben and not having enough experience to be at that elite level. Again, it's because he has some pop, or yeah, he had some pop. Ever since he stopped drinking that baby milk, whatever that shit was, he took fertility, whatever. They, then they say there's something about some contaminated eggs or some shit like that. Whatever the hell that is, I mean, shit, that shit makes sense now to me. Why he's taking that shit. They say, well, he didn't mean to take it and all this shit. Get the hell out of here with that. Shit, he was suspended for some years, I believe. But you correct me if I'm wrong. But it was more mainly like because he don't believe in himself. Anytime he steps up in a fight, the dude is scared. He's scared to death. I'm pretty sure he was scared in this fight. Because not only did he have to come down and weight, and cut muscle. Yeah, he had to cut through muscle. I looked at his pictures when he was getting ready to fight at 160 pounds. He had to literally cut through muscle. Seriously, legs was huge, looked like a little mini Mike Tyson. Arms, shoulders, everything was knotted up. And he literally had to sweat that off, man. And cutting that lean muscle, it takes from your body. For sure, it takes from your body. It takes from your strength, takes from your power. But when he was on that damn baby formula, you know, he he was hitting like a truck, man, because he got more strength. He had more strength. And when you put the hand speed on top of that with the mass he got and everything else, that's going to generate a lot of force. And that's what a knockout power was, but as soon as he got busted, now he ain't hurt nobody. He's barely rattling these guys. He might make them stumble here and there, but this was a perfect opportunity for him to literally like levitate this dude, man, in Regis Prograis. But let's give hats off to Regis Prograis. He showed his toughness. He showed his determination. He showed the fight, and he gave it everything he has. It's just that he's just older now, and his legs, his legs is worse than shit Bob Arum. Shit, and Bob Arum damn near almost 100, and his legs is worse. I mean, damn, boy, that first round, his legs started buckling and stuff. I was like, oh man, Bob Arum got better legs than him. Shot, them legs are done. Damn, and I was like, man, come on. But Connor Bean couldn't finish him. This was a prime time. On Netflix. You want to get people to be interested in boxing, and this is the prime reason right here. Selling these damn wolf tickets, whack ass fights. It was what we had Jake Paul and AJ. I'm glad AJ did what he did. Because I was hesitant about his ass, but I'm glad he did what did. But it took his ass 6 rounds or so to get rid of this guy, because probably he's under contract to let it last a little bit. But I mean, but back to Regis, back to Conor Ben, it was set up for him to destroy Regis Prograis. And let's talk about Tyson Fury, man, because I want to give some context, man. Like, you know, a lot of people say, man, you being hard on Fury, man. He just coming back from retirement, man. Listen. This shit ain't the same for everybody, man. It's not the same. Can't nobody sit up here and say that it's the same. It's not the same if it's like Shakur or freaking Crawford or any of them top guys, man, that's here in boxing right now, if they would have come back and do this shit and have a net on Netflix and have that type of opponent, man, and if they didn't perform and knock the dude out, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, oh, they underperform. So shit, Fury getting the same standards as everybody else in the sport, the same damn standards. So, he's supposed to look good, but he would have looked even better if he would have knocked the dude out. And then I would have said, hey, Fury did exactly what he was supposed to do. That's the way it was set up for him to do, was to knock this man out, you know. But everybody, you want to take good from everything. Oh, well, you can see his stamina. Fury, well, he was hugging the motherfucker the whole time. They was hugging. Now, no shit, he gonna have stamina. He was sitting there resting the whole time. This dude hugging all on his ass every time he would and swing wild and miss and Fury just and tie his ass up. I mean, come on. You gonna get tired? I'm not gonna get tired if I'm laying my ass on the ropes like this and letting the dude tie me up. What's there to get tired about? Shit, ain't nothing to get tired about. So like, I don't want to hear that. Like, and it's like I'm saying to myself, like, this dude is so hittable. This dude is so easy. Like, there's nothing trickery. There's no trickery with this dude at all. Zero. Like, this was supposed to be another slam dunk. So like, don't. How can I say this? There's always something to my madness, man. For real. In the way I view this shit. It's always something to my madness. That's all I want to tell you guys, man. Do I think Fury is ready for a guy like Itama? Hell no, he ain't ready for nobody like Itama. Do I
don't think anybody thinks
I
that.
think Fury and AJ should go at it? Yeah, fuck yeah. They what and what? They what and what? They're a lot better than Chisora and Wilder right now for damn sure. And I ain't watched that fight. I told y'all I wasn't gonna watch that damn fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't had nothing nice to say about it. That type of shit, that's the type of fights like that ruin boxing, in my opinion. Seriously, because it's just ugly. Ugly. It was an ugly fight. I know it was an ugly fight. I ain't gotta watch it to know. You know what I mean? Because I know where those guys are in their career. They on the very, 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 very tail end of their career. Those guys should have retired a long time ago. They making out, they made their money. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But I'm just saying, AJ still got something left because AJ, all the situation that he went through and all whatnot, and I actually like the way AJ handled himself. He didn't take the bait. AJ handled himself like the boss he is. He's like, y'all need me. It ain't the other way around. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But AJ, you got to remember who he with now. AJ with the best heavyweight in the world, and Usyk. That's who he with. He teamed up with him. He getting the secrets. He getting pushed. He getting motivated. He gonna be ready when he ready. He gonna be ready for Fury. That's for damn sure. And the Fury that I saw right here is not ready for AJ, in my opinion. Hell no, not ready for AJ. AJ looked like before in the fight with Jake Paul. He looked rejuvenated. He looked fresh, and I get it. It's Jake Paul. Sorry ass Jake Paul. Understand that. I get it. But shit, I'm just saying he had a little pep in his step. He did what he was supposed to do. Shit, I was hoping it was gonna be sooner. However, hey, sometimes you just like let the prey, stumble all over himself, fall all over the floor and stuff like that. Yeah, let him. Shit, the shit is fun. It's fun watching him do that, right? Yeah. So, and then he finally landed it. Bam, and it was over. Broke the jaw and everything. Hey, savior, man. AJ. Yeah. Savior in boxing for sure. So, look, Fury, he come back, he retired, he come back, he retired. Nobody worried about no damn Tyson Fury. Shit, I ain't missed no damn Tyson Fury when he was gone. Nobody. That's what one thing that Tyson and all y'all fighters got to understand is that, dog, when y'all gone, nobody miss your ass because there's always somebody else coming up. Don't nobody miss your ass. I promise you that. Shit, even when you die, you might have one or two people, you know what I'm saying, that miss your ass. But other than that, everybody else you done met and went through life, they don't miss your ass. You just, hey, you gone. You ain't here. Out of sight, out of mind. That's what it is. Yeah, we here and we gone. That's it. Same thing in the boxing. You know, ain't nobody missing your ass. But anyways, man, look, I just wanted to put some context behind, my words yesterday because, I read the comments and stuff, and some people giving, let me know, hey, keep doing you, T. Keep doing you, because that's just the only way I know how to do. But shit, doesn't impress me yesterday for real. Conor Ben ain't got no experience to compete at the highest level. His ass got, again, a living trust. His pops, he gonna get opportunities that others can't get because of it. Shit, Chavez Jr. got opportunities that he didn't fucking deserve. But that's what it is. It's a business at the end of the day. This dude got a big ass market because of his dad. And that's what it is. And that's how he's able to get into positions like this, to be able to make $15 million like that. And all these other fighters who are way better than him, will never see that type of money. That's just what it is. It's the times we live in. Period. This is what it is. So, but moving forward, shit, make the Ryan Garcia fight. Make it. One thing I can say about Conor Ben that's nice is that
You know how to sell tickets.
he got some instincts and he can fight. Like fight, not box, not box, fight. That's the one thing that I can say about Conor Ben. He's always dangerous because he can fight. And he'll bite down. Just the way he did against Regis. He bit down, but he's scared shitless at the top echelon. I promise y'all that. With 48 fights, scared as hell. Oh, he's scared. I had over 200 fights, shit, and I was scared in the motherfucker. Yeah, at the highest level. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Shit, scared to get embarrassed. Get up there, get knocked the hell out. Become a meme. Nah, I ain't trying to become no damn meme. Nah, hell nah. I ain't trying to get embarrassed like that. So that's why I train like a son of a gun, boy. Train like crazy. I put 3-4 training camps into one because I ain't trying to get embarrassed like that. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Tim Desert Storm Bradley. You already know the damn rest, and I'm out.
That was insightful.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Xander's eyes in the real.
Yo, what's going on, world? This is your boy Najee from Cigar Talk. And today I got a very special guest, man. This is like the face of Puerto Rico right now. This guy is making so much noise. I had to come talk to him, my man Xander's eyes.
My God.
What's up, brother?
Nice seeing you again, brother.
How are you,
Long time
man?
no see. I'm
I
doing
know.
great, bro. I'm doing great.
Dude, I feel like you've come so far since our last conversation 2 years ago
I know.
at my office.
I know.
It was like, I feel like at that time you were still, I guess maybe a contender already, but it still felt like, the
For sure.
prospect coming
For
up,
sure.
trying to get there, and now we sitting there with 2 belts.
Now
How
we
does
got
it feel?
2.
How
No.
does it feel,
So
man?
yeah, last time we spoke, I was going to my first main event here at MSG actually, in Manhattan, and I remember just going in, being excited, obviously with my first main event, New York City, because it was a dream come true. And now fast forwarding to today, sitting here with 2 belts, unified world champion, going into my biggest fight yet, against a great opponent. So again, I'm just as excited as I was 2 years ago, just more excited and more hungry now.
Yeah. What do you feel like is the difference between champion Zayas, right? Like the champion and then the prospect. Is there a difference, or you kind of
a little bit more confidence? You get that, a little bit more experience. You get that confidence. You go 12 rounds. You could look good for 12 rounds. You get a little bit more like pepper in your step, kind of like.
Well, this fight, like you said, this is the biggest. Everybody's talking about this fight.
Yes.
This is a huge fight here. One is, first of all, how did this come about, right? Because a lot of people are giving you credit, like, yo, you fighting the boogeyman, right? A lot of people calling him a boogeyman. How did the fight actually come about?
Man, I feel like this is what boxing is all about. You gotta fight the best. I say I'm the best. He says he's the best. We're the best fighters out 54. Let's see who really the best. And he came pretty easy. Obviously, he had a negotiation period with Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah.
So after my fight, we were looking at other opponents, Josh Kelly being one of them. Sent out a couple notes, a couple letters to his team. Never got a response back. Then obviously we heard that the fight with Virgil fell through because of Virgil's legal things with his company, and we jumped right on it. We're like, hey, we won the fight. Yeah. Same thing, same split, same everything. We just same deal, just make it happen. And they went to Boots' team, and they said yes, and we were already obviously in. So it's an easy negotiation period, I say.
That's crazy because I guess coming off of, as fans, looking at what happened with Virgil and Boots, we just feeling like, damn, this is going to be something hard to make, right? But you're just saying it's easy, bro.
Man, to be honest, when you want to be great, it's easy to do it. You just got to go and do it. It's when you put too many buts and no, but this, no, but that, no, but it got to be. And that's too many excuses. Let's make the fight happen. He's from Philly. I'm from Puerto Rico. We both sell in the East Coast. Yeah. We have proved that we both sell in the East Coast. So why not make it happen here in New York?
Yeah. Well, listen, the odds have already came out. You're the underdog as far as the betting is concerned.
Yeah.
And people, just fans, pundits, everybody's like, yo, this might be too early for Xander, right? Like, what do you feel when people are saying it might be too early?
Man, to be great, again, you just gotta do it. Believe in yourself. I believe in myself. I know what I can do in that ring. He's a man just like me. He breathes just like I breathe. He has two hands just like I have two hands. It's fair game. Yeah. When it comes to fight night, I'm just gonna be 10 steps ahead of him, man. And the experience, the age, none of that is gonna matter when he has no answer, when he can't find any answers for me that night.
Yeah. So now, all right, I would say, because like I said, people looking at Boots like a boogeyman. Do you look at him like that?
Negotiations. According to Showbiz, the adult, which is DAZN, one of their media personality, or I said DAZN, the Zones, one of their media personality.
No bull jive. It looks like we may just have a fight. Negotiations has aggressively started between Ryan Garcia, the welterweight WBC champion, and the #1 contender, Conor Benn. Hit the fight, Ben. Hey! Oh, hell yes!
Run it.
Run it! Get him. Get him, twin. Get him. There we go. Get him, twin.
Conor looking sharp than a mug.
Get him. Get him, twin. Get him. Get him, twin. Know me like I'm famous. She don't know me yet. Yeah, I'm somebody. But who the fuck is that? It's been me. You feel me from the road days and the alleyways, McLaren on the freeways. This is exclusive information for the war room. Listen, I got a message. Says Showbiz. Just so you know, Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn negotiations have started. I said, thanks. I ain't come out with a video. Another message. Showbiz from someone else, a different source. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn negotiations has started. I said, hold on. Let me reach out to a source. If this person says yes, then damn it, it has begun. Hit the Tyson bell. I reach out. Not more than 2 minutes later, that person responds back
to the biz. Yes, I can confirm negotiations. Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. Now, I know there's going to be some of you guys in the comments, right, turning your nose up. Well, this fight is always negative. I'm going to tell you this with your nose up asses. The one thing that you know for sure about this fight is it's going to be fun as hell. The lead-up's going to be fun with both of their attitudes. They're going to be talking mad shit. And I'm talking about on social media. I'm talking about in press conferences. I'm talking about media workouts. The whole build-up, they're going to be getting at each other. And you know for damn sure that the fight itself is going to be a slugfest. It's Tyson Bale. Somebody's going night-night. You know the whole damn thing is going to be fun, and it's for the title. Listen, there's nothing in the way from this fight happening. Conor Benn is the mandatory. The Mauricio Suleiman of WBC, he confirmed that his damn self.
We have a board, 36 members from all over the world, and they are the ones that vote on every single matter. Okay, Conor Benn, he has not fought in the division, but we consider that he is of the highest level. He was ranked in welterweight for many years, and he has sent his weight continuously to the WBC, so we know, monitoring, that he is a natural welterweight and he will be competing safely in that division.
Both of these fighters fighting on the same networks with the same associations, Ring Magazine, DAZN, War Room, all that shit. Hit Tyson Bale. There's not going to be much that's going to get in the way of this fight happening. You think Zuffa? Conor Benn is a free agent now. That was confirmed by his manager.
Conor's a free agent. It was a one-fight deal, but the target will be to fight Ryan Garcia. Yeah. And again, everything else is in the past and looking to move forward.
So Conor Benn is no longer with Zuffa. It was just a one-fight deal. And speaking of one-fight deal, they're both big bag fighters. Conor Benn making that bag against Chris Eubank 2 damn times, and now a $15 million fight. You see both of those guys riding them foreigns.
Beat the box, she's a human beatbox. Beat the box, she's a human. Beat the box, she's a human beatbox. Beat the box, she's a human. No rapper can rap right like I can, and I was.
And Conor Benn, just one day removed from his fight against Regis Prograis, his ass back in the gym like Wolverine, ready to get back in the ring versus Ryan Garcia.
Monday morning, 10K for breakfast.
That's how you separate the men from the boys, what they're doing after their big wins and after their big losses.
Unmatched, work ethic, unmatched. You can't
Scratch that after any wins and any losses. See what they're doing after. See what their demeanor is like. See what their attitude is.
outwork me. I want that WBC World Title next. I've been ready to go July, August. I want to be active. I'm ready to drop back down to 147 and get that world title. Get what belongs to me. Keep that belt warm, guys. Here, coming through. Hey!
If you ain't lit about this fight, then the pilot light ain't on. I don't know why you guys watch box. Hell, Conor Benn said, listen, you look like a pugilist guy, showbiz. I understand you like all the little things, but this is why people watch the sport.
I'm not entertained by any of them. I like Ryan. I think he's, well, I don't like Ryan. No, I don't like him. I don't know where I was going with that. You know what I like about Ryan? He is what he is. He's entertaining. He brings chaos, you know, because it's boring. Who wants to sit on the fence? Who wants to be boring? Speak what you want to say and say it. Own it.
Well, I pay money to watch the fight. I pay to get entertained.
But you are also a boxing guy. I can tell. You like all that. Oh, look at the shoulder roll.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the look at the jab. Look at the parry.
The common viewer wants to see
entertainment. They want to see blood. They want to see a bit of excitement. You know, like let me see something.
Right.
Ryan Garcia, not considered a small guy. We know Conor Benn's not considered a small guy. Both of these guys are big punchers. Both of these guys got speed. Both of these guys are dynamic. I cannot wait to see both of those guys share the ring together and fight for the WBC title, with Ryan Garcia being the defending WBC champion. And I want to say this too. I know there's going to be a few of you guys jumping in the comments talking about PBs and stuff like that with Conor Ben and his background, but he was fine, innocent of all those allegations. Ryan Garcia and the Oscarine thing, regardless, they both are fighting for the WBC title, meaning that VADA is a mandatory. They will be VADA tested. They both must sign up for VADA and all that shit. So don't worry about that. So listen, exclusively to the War Room, it has been confirmed. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben has already started their negotiations. I do not see there being an issue with this fight happening. Expect this fight to happen at the beginning of fall, end of summer. I'm thinking even as early as end of summer.
I'll be ready to go July, August. I'll be active.
The only thing left is for us to watch.
I think they're going to want to push that back. That's a little too soon. They're going to want to promote that fight. That's going to be big.
Watch their fights. I cannot show the Regis Prograis fight because I'm not whitelisted with Netflix, but we're in the zone, War Room.
We in the zone, War Room. Going to the middle of the gold letters over here, middle of the white letters over here. You both got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to corner, gentlemen.
That's one of the biggest welterweights that I've seen. Oh, nice.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
Right from Ryan to start things.
But then again, you're supposed to look like that against Mario Barrios, the fakest champion ever.
And that's what Ryan Garcia's going to need, that right hand. Down it goes, just like that.
I genuinely think Ben would do the same thing.
What a shocker. We knew that Ryan Garcia had an outstanding left hook. He just put Mario Barrios on the deck with a straight right hand. This kid can punch. Can he take him out? Ryan Garcia with one of the most electrifying first rounds of his life if he can finish the job here against Mario Barrios. You're just encouraging fighters like Garcia when you're giving them something to hit. The knees kind of buckled a bit there too for Barrios. The fat hands of Garcia, because if he continues letting Garcia punch with that.
Look how Barrios is trying to inch forward and is still not doing anything, and Ryan basically is playing the distance game better than the taller fighter.
He's going to be outnumbered now. Again, Sergio. These right hands are buckling right.
He's just trying to survive at this point. It's not even a fight.
Mario Barrios every single time. Stepped into that one. The right hand is on point for Ryan Garcia.
He didn't even step into that one. Even like, if that's the case, he's been stepping in every shot.
Oh my God! Same shot. Barrios all over the place. You know, it's interesting to hear Henry Garcia reveal that Ryan has a hand injury in that right hand that's been bothering a little bit, and told him throw it when you have to.
It's a nice slapping body up.
Sure doesn't look.
Thing about Ryan, he's quick, but he's slightly awkward with it too. So you don't really know what you're gonna get hit with sometimes.
Hey, maybe Henry's lying to all of us. Maybe he should hurt his right hand more often. Here we go. 10 seconds left. As Ryan Garcia is about to be.
You see Terrence Crawford and Oscar De La Hoya in the crowd in the background there.
From the WBC welterweight champion of the world, the self-proclaimed king, the uncrowned king, finally receives his coronation. What a performance!
And WBC welterweight champion of the world, Ryan King
Compared to two. So we saw Ryan got speed, but Ben also has speed. Let's see if we can see who's quicker. I'll say just off this one shot so far. Obviously, I've seen Conor Ben fight before, but Ben is sharper. Ben is sharper, more accurate. I don't know if I can say he's necessarily quicker than Ryan Garcia. You think Ryan Garcia is about to bully Conor Ben like he bullied Mario Barrios? You have another thing coming, and we haven't seen what Ryan Garcia look like in a while when he's truly facing adversity. So, I need this fight to happen as soon as mine. He's boxing with his front hand down, playing around. He wasn't even fundamentally sound and cracked him right on the temple like he was toying with him. He deserved that.
Yeah, great stars, great anaconda.
Let's see what Carlos Ulber had to say about his finish.
First of all, mate, congratulations on becoming world champion. I would imagine your mind is probably racing all over the place at the moment, right? Because it's meant to be potentially the best night of your career, and yet now you're walking around limping. And
I know what is that around his neck? It look fire.
I'm not sure how that's going to be. So, what exactly are you thinking, and the emotions are right now?
Yeah, you're right. It is all over the place at the moment, and it hasn't really sunk in. But you know, the team is happy. We're happy. We came in and we got the job done, and that's what we.
Was he able to walk to this press conference? Did he need a wheelchair? Like, how bad is that leg injury he had? I saw on the video camera his whole calf popped.
Here for is to get that title, and we did that.
You said at the press conference that you would do whatever it takes, right? If it became a firefight, you would do it, and then your ACL potentially goes in the fight. What is going through your mind when that happens? Is it just like not even thinking about it, or is it like, okay, how do I adapt? What goes through your mind when that injury happens?
Yeah, it's just adapting on the fly. We've had issues like this before. We're in a big fight, and you expect things like this to happen. So I never counted myself out at any moment, but we knew that this was going to be an issue at the time. And how do we adapt with it? How do we adapt to it?
Have you had? Is this like a thing that you had through camp as well?
No, it just happened on the night.
You said, like, look, you're going to adapt and stuff like that, but when your balance is completely off, right, and you're falling because he's kicking it back, and I'm sure it's hurting a lot, are you starting to think, like, am I going to have to grapple? Am I just going to have to try and bang him out in one punch? What strategy-wise goes through your mind of that?
Fundamentally speaking, trying to bang somebody out with punches and strikes on one leg, you're not going to have the real power that you've trained to have or always practiced to have. So you're going to be throwing very unorthodox shots. It's more of like a Hail Mary at that point. Grappling, it would really depend on the type of fighter you are. And even if you are a good grappler, like you'd have to be a pretty great grappler to mess up from your knee down, probably above your knee down, and grapple with somebody on the fly.
Just sticking to the plan, sticking to the game plan, and I think that's what got us there in the end was staying calm, and whatever fire came through us. So. Yeah, I guess Yuri made the mistake of coming forward as I was on the cage, and he walked into that left hook.
I know you said it's all part of the plan and stuff like that, but there must be something going when you land that left hook on him that you are just like, oh, thank God for that. But, with the injury and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah.
He said in his post-fight interview that he felt sympathy for you when he saw the injury, and he kind of showed mercy in his opinion. Do you agree with that assessment from Yuri?
No. I don't think that. I feel like he made the mistake there because I would not have done the same. If you're in there to get that title, you do whatever it takes to get that win.
And listen, I'm sure you're going to have to go have scans and stuff like that. But if I ask you right here and now, when do you think you're getting back in there? Do you have any idea what's the sort of?
Why this reporter sounds so congested?
Going through your mind.
I'm no doctor. I have no idea what's going to happen, but all I know is we'll go and assess it, see what happens, and then try to get into the gym as soon as I can. Hopefully it's not as...
It's a pretty dumb question. I'm pretty sure we all could have guessed that would have been his answer.
Bad as it may seem, but I'm looking to get in the gym as soon as I can.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carlos, what is it like when we're watching Yuri do Yuri things in there, like we find it entertaining to watch, but when he's standing like feet away from you, pointing at the ground, hands at the ground, just doing like Yuri things, what is it actually like?
Yeah, I think that was his way of trying to lure me into his game, and I stuck to what I needed to do, which was try and keep my distance, stay in the middle, and try not to let him push me back on the cage where he could have an advantage or whatever it is. But I think what it is was we just stuck to our game plan.
And I know, like you said, you have to get all these things checked out on your knee, but like on the rise, you're trying to like strategically maneuver your way up the rankings with the best fights to reach that title. Now everyone has to chase you. You don't have to chase fights anymore. So I guess what do you want moving forward? Like, I guess obviously Paolo had the big win. Dom's back in the win column after you knocked him out. What would make sense for you, given like you can, like, depending on what your knee is, of course, but what do you think makes sense for you?
I think I'm not too sure who else is there. There's who knows. We'll just leave it up to we leave it up to the guys who know what they're doing, and I just get myself into the gym and prepare for whatever is next.
Have you had the chance to talk to anyone back home yet?
Not yet.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Carlos, what went through your mind as soon as sort of your knee popped?
It was just deal with it and see how we can adapt and what we need to do from there. And I knew that I never counted myself out of the fight, and knew that all I needed was my hands to land.
Did you feel like, and I don't know if you can think sort of that clearly in that moment, obviously you're fighting, but did you feel like, I can't go to the scorecards, like I have to get a finish fairly soon because of, being in one leg?
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as the leg went out, we knew that we had to try and figure something else out on the fly. And I think it was just more about pushing forward and this is the fight game, and these sorts of things happen, and I've already dealt with that. I've already said to myself that whatever happens in that cage, we have to keep going. We have to keep pushing through. We have to keep going until you get that belt, because nothing is going to stop me from getting it. And I heard him saying that throughout the week as well, and that's what sort of pushed me to do it too.
And I know no one wants to get injured, obviously, but is part of you maybe a bit proud that you had to go through this much adversity and you didn't fold? I think many fighters in your position would probably, fold at the adversity and the circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just having to push through and understand what was at stake. This meant a lot for me, and getting this belt was bigger than me, and just I think having that mentality helped me push through, and nothing was ever going to stop me from getting that goal.
It was an incredible finish, and you had mentioned to me on fight week that you were hoping that to get a big win in order to lure back Poatan. Do you feel like you've done that?
Who knows? He might come back, but I think I just need to keep this belt and see if he comes back. It would be a big fight for sure. Thank you.
Carlos over here. Congratulations on becoming a champion. I know Robert Whittaker was joking that they have a group chat of the champions from Australia and New Zealand with him, Volk, and Izzy. Are you excited to be added to that group chat finally?
Yeah, I'm excited.
And what is it about City Kickboxing in Miami? Izzy and Volk became 2-time champs here. You overcame being on one leg and became champ. What is it about Miami?
There you go.
And one last one from me. If you end up being healthy in the next couple months, if it is you versus Paulo Costa for the light heavyweight title, the best looking fighter title might also be on the line. What's it going to be like to fight for 2 belts?
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Carlos, you'd be the second UFC champion from New Zealand, next to your teammate Israel Adesanya. What does it feel now to have your name etched in history along with him?
It means a lot, man. It just means to be able to take another belt back home gives hope to the many other fighters and aspiring fighters back home. To see
Not everyone can be a champion, man.
It's even more possible now that there's someone like me that I could do it. Who that I'm sure they can they can relate.
Testing. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Editor, make sure you edit that out, please. We'll be back to this press conference.
On the fly. Main thing was just knowing that I had the power. I had the power and a little bit of movement, and try not to push off that leg as much as I could.
Yeah, it seems like you adapted pretty well. So the light heavyweight title has kind of been a hot potato in recent years, just bouncing from one guy to the next to the next. Is one of your goals as champion to kind of solidify yourself as a dominant champion in the light heavyweight division that we haven't seen in a while?
That's a dumb question. What champion goal is it to be dominant? As I know these guys just be BSing at work.
Yeah, it is. It is. The mission is to hold this belt and hold it for as long as I can and make as much money as I can in this company.
Carlos, one more front right here. I don't know if you saw, but Tai Tuivasa tweeted that Miami is lucky he's not here right now to celebrate your win. What would that look like if Ty was actually ringside?
Crazy, man. It would be crazy, actually. You party with Ty? Yeah, I don't think you wake up the next morning, eh? You just, yeah. I've been there a few times, and yeah, I don't want to be there. I am lucky he's not here.
Carlos over here. Congratulations on your win. You just won the belt, and in one of the toughest ways possible. How much of that win over Jiri Prochazka was about skill, and how much was it about refusing to be beaten?
A lot of it was about refusing to be beaten, and then also sticking to the game plan, sticking to what it was the fire.
No, he's just pretty much basically reiterating the same stuff. Now we have a debate between Max Kellerman and his panel between who would win with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Live from Los Angeles, this is Inside the Ring Boxing's official show of record. I am your host, Max Kellerman. Joining me to my right, a former heavyweight contender and now world-class trainer, Malik Scott.
What's up,
Max? Going on, Malik?
What's up, baby?
To my left, the man whose baseball team has the second highest payroll in the sport, yet still finds a way to be in last place. Of course, I'm talking about his New York Mets. That's Rings Magazine senior editor, Mike Cobb. Yes.
Wait, how many games have the Yankees lost in a row now?
Still in first place, though. That's how good. They're so good that they can lose 5 and still be in first place. One-run games. Don't disrespect my Yankees. And to Mike's left, the man who truly lives the motto, brothers before others. Unless we're talking about Manny Pacquiao.
That's right.
Former all-decade NFL running back and future Pro Football Hall of Famer, Shady McCoy.
That's right. Talk about that Manny.
And coming up on today's show, we will chat with one of the very greatest fighters in the history of boxing, Manny Pacquiao. He will join us live in studio, and we'll also be joined by one of Zuffa Boxing's newest signees, the power-punching Edgar Berlanga. But right now, it is time for the lead hook. We start in England, where former two-time heavyweight champion Tyson Fury made his return after a 16-month hiatus against Arslanbek Makhmudov. Are you telling me I'm saying Makhmudov's name wrong this whole time?
I think it's Makhmudov. But
Makhmudov. All right.
I've been saying
And
Makhmudov.
he won Tyson Fury by unanimous decision. Let me tell you why I was impressed by this, guys. Makhmudov is limited in certain ways. And he's had not a stamina problem exactly, but he gasses a little toward the end. He's a big, strong guy carrying around a lot of muscle. I thought he was in very good shape for this fight. But he is a big...
Saying he's limited in certain ways is very vague. You got to elaborate on that. Let's see if Max Kellerman actually does, or is he just trying to get clicks?
Strong, determined, power-punching heavyweight. Yeah. He's hungry, and he fought that fight like he meant it. He came out to win. And if Tyson Fury was a shot fighter, if Tyson Fury was... I'm not saying he was what he was 5 or 6 years ago, but if he wasn't still around his prime, he loses that fight, Malik. I think he was pulling straight back at times. You know, Tyson Fury makes you miss with slick upper body movement. When those reflexes go a little bit, and a 250-pound man is winging those shots, you get knocked out.
Absolutely.
But he is actually in control of basically the whole fight.
The whole time, Makhmudov, everything that he was swinging, he had bad intentions on. And at times, 16 months out, Fury did get clipped a couple times, no problem. What I was really impressed with most, Max, was every time in the clinch, Fury was working. Every time, working the free hand. So that goes to show that he wasn't just there.
Fury's in weirdly good shape. I don't know what it is about him, if it's just his willpower or what, but his body looks crazy, but he'll withstand any circumstance in the ring.
Here to get through it. No, he wanted to be there and dominate. And even though Makhmudov has lost before, I've never seen him get dominated like that round after round after round.
Yeah, I thought Makhmudov won the
going back and
first
forth
2
before.
rounds.
Yes.
I gave him the first 2 rounds, and then Tyson Fury the next 10.
The dust wore off and the rust wore off. And you seen the Gypsy King do what the Gypsy King does. He made that fight look easy. I like it just because of he's been away for 16 months. So the first 2 rounds, you've seen that. But when he wanted to, he's working that jab, overhand right. He did everything he wanted to do. And then in the clinch,
Bleak, you right about that.
Yes.
Normally times you see guys, the big guys, they're tired and holding. Not him. He's hitting, pushing him off him. So I love what I've seen. And real quick, I know it's all about Tyson Fury.
Don't you do it.
AJ, leave that boy alone, bro. Leave that boy
We're
alone.
going to get to that. How much of prime Tyson Fury you think is still left after what you saw?
I think, he's really close to his prime. Like you said, Max, is he at his actual prime? No. His peak? No. But I thought he was very close to it. I was ringside in London, and Tyson Fury, the legs looked really good to me. That's
Yes,
always
it
the biggest
did.
thing, right? With an aging heavyweight. And you could tell that as the fight gone on and on and on, Fury shook off the rust more and more, especially those last 4 rounds. I thought he was really sharp. He was throwing a lot of punches.
Fury definitely is the person who thrives in negative societies in the fight. So, like, when you hurt him is when he performs better.
He was in shape, too.
You know what it reminded me of? And Malik, you may have at least studied up on this era. But after Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman for the heavyweight title, when he re-won it, he's a 2-time champion. He fought guys before Manila, because Manila really took it out of him. But like Ron Lyle, he had a couple of fights after he beat Foreman.
Was Corey in it? No,
where
Corey
he's
was before.
Yeah, that's before he re-won the title. Both Corey fights, but he had a couple of those fights where, that's a credible guy. That's an aggressive guy. Ali is clearly not what he used to be, but man, he's still good enough to dominate
these
those,
guys.
dominate those guys.
Yeah.
Good fight. He looks that way to me. Like, if you are not an elite fighter, and Fury trains for the fight, like he's being gracious, but he didn't train to fight Ngannou.
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
But if
It was
Fury
so
is obvious, if Fury is actually training for the fight, and you're not an elite fighter, ain't gonna happen.
Because even like the 10th, 11th round, he was on his toes moving.
Yeah.
I said, look at him. The big man was dancing.
Yes.
He showed every attribute that he's always shown. I can only imagine how he will look 2 fights from now.
Meantime, speaking of his next fight, he calls out Anthony Joshua. He said he wants that fight next. By the way, you notice in this, maybe it's because it's an era of social media, everyone's mic skills in this game are much better than they used to be. It's much closer to WWE, right? Than it used to be to the old boxing days. But he wants the Joshua fight next. Anthony Joshua said he would take the fight, but on his own time. After the fight, AJ said he's still dealing with a lot of things, but he'll be ready, guys. And the quote was, as I said, on his own time. It looked to me.
Word is AJ supposed to get a tune-up fight with Deontay Wilder and then go to Tyson Fury, which I would love to see.
Like AJ was staking out a negotiating position. How did it look to you?
Yeah, I think it was a power move from Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn to say, hey, we're the ones in control. Obviously, they are not, right? Tyson Fury is the cash cow.
Yes, he is.
I'm the landlord is what he
Right,
said.
come on.
Yes,
He's the
he
10th.
is.
Let's be real. But I liked it. It was a great line. And Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, this is similar to Mayweather Pacquiao. It's going to happen past when we wanted to see it, but it's going to be bigger than ever. The British fans want it. I still want to see it. I just don't think Anthony Joshua is as close to his prime as Fury is.
Meantime, you think it's like a 50-50 fight, right, Shady?
50-50. That was a good one, man. It's a Monday. Got to be a Monday.
Hey, one common opponent is Ngannou. Oh, he
Come on,
knocked
man.
down Fury.
Let's not.
Joshua nearly decapitated him.
This guy is crazy. Real quick, nice shades too.
Thank you.
I will say this: watching AJ's response after the fight, I don't think he wants it. And it's not that he don't want the fight. I think he has so much going on in his personal life. Right? You lose somebody close to you like that, anything, your mind's probably going everywhere.
Well, it's 2 people close to him.
So I give him that grace period, right? Because he calling you out for all these people, and you just sitting down, right? It's just the way his aura gave off. You know what? I got so much going on that I'm not even here with the Tyson Fury.
Well, if
even,
you got
even
that
though,
much going on, you shouldn't be
you
ringside
shouldn't
at
even
a
came.
Tyson
I
Fury
agree.
fight.
Well,
Well, we all know what
there's
Fury was
big-
going to do, though.
There's a big piece of business there. I want to make the argument for Joshua. I think we're all on the same page. Of course, Fury's a huge favorite. It doesn't look super competitive at this moment. But let me make the argument for Joshua. Part of what we are basing that on is how he looked against Jake Paul, which was awful. But you can see that sometimes when a boxer fights a non-top flight boxer in a kind of exhibition-y circus type of fight, he won't be at his best. For example, the way Tyson Fury looked against Ngannou, right? When you don't put it this way, the influencer boxers or the MMA boxers are now good enough because they take it seriously. Like Jake Paul respects the sport. Ngannou respected the sport. They're good enough where if a boxer doesn't really train,
Ngannou originally wanted to be a boxer. He never wanted to be a UFC fighter. A lot of people don't realize that.
they kind of look like they're on the same level. So keeping that in mind with the Jake Paul fight, Yes, he got stretched by Dubois. Dubois is a very athletic, quick, big punching fighter. Shady, I see that reaction. Even in the Joe Joyce fight when he came in undefeated, he was beating Joe Joyce at
He
first.
lost, but he was winning.
He lost. He's an athletic, hard punching, twitchy type of heavyweight who Joshua had hurt right before he got knocked out.
Yes.
How about that case for
Yes,
Joshua?
and Dubois, the punch that he knocked Joshua out with, it was almost like a get away from me punch because he was hurt at that time, Shady. I know what
And
you're
Joshua
saying.
got away from him.
And yes, he
got all the way away.
all the way. Absolutely. It was a good fight.
Did y'all watch that fight? Did you really watch that fight?
We watched it clearly.
Did you watch Anthony dominate that whole fight? Because he got dominated that whole fight.
I wouldn't say the whole fight.
Okay.
He got dominated.
He got dominated, right?
I was trying.
I thought that was a competitive fight.
Me too. Up until
until he got
What?
stretched. It was
First of all, it looked like one dude didn't want to fight no more. Are y'all serious? Look, real quick.
The first round.
When we start talking about all these great fighters, right? Like I can tell you why we talk about Usyk. I could say you and tell you why we talk about him, why he's so good.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, we talk about him. I can sit here and tell you
Shakur Stevenson says one of the only fighters he watches today is Usyk.
this is why he's so good and so elite and etc. And we can talk about him. Even Moses Atama, he's young, he's emerging. I can tell you why he's going to be this type of. When we get to AJ, it's like I'm always searching for reasons why he is so good and talked about. And I feel like if he was an American fighter here, right, he will not be as talked about like he is now, because
he'd be more talked about if he was an American
I
heavyweight
don't think
in
so.
America.
I think them other guys' resume speaks for itself. The way they fight. You look at AJ, you're going to go back to some old ass Klitschko fight. I don't want to talk about that. And
or
you'll
go back to an old Dylan White fight, or you'll go back to an old Alexander Povetkin fight.
I actually said that's Dylan White.
Joseph Parker.
Stuff you'll go back to.
Yeah,
Shady.
Joseph Parker fight.
Joseph Parker fight.
Cool.
Yeah.
But when we go,
You like Joseph Parker?
Yeah, now. But when he was dead, he was emerged. But
If
other
you,
guys
look at
aren't here.
if you look at
said
AJ's
he was
losses,
emerged.
if you look at his losses, let's take the first one, Andy Ruiz. He was on his way to knocking Ruiz out.
Yes.
That was an by the way, Ruiz Joshua is an all-time heavyweight classic when you think of the
Joshua
swings.
was looking good in that
and
fight.
Ruiz, and so that's his first loss is against the guy he was on his way to knocking out he'd had on the floor, right? His most recent loss is to a guy who he hurt right before he got knocked out. Like you could say
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What it means is he's competitive.
He's
even
competitive.
And by the way, when he lost twice to Usyk, he was highly competitive.
Fight,
I
especially
do
the second
want to
one.
say this. I think Shady's getting at something, though. Forget about Joshua for a second. I think there are only 3 fighters on the planet that any of us would give a real shot to beat Fury. Obviously, there's Usyk, who beat him twice, and then there's Moses Atama and Caballero. I think that's the list.
I mean, okay. Since you brought it up, Fury said this is a battle for British boxing, and it certainly is a battle for the previous era of British boxing. Can we say it's a battle for British boxing today if we don't talk about Moses Atama? Can you have a battle for British boxing when this dude in his last fight looked like someone crossed Pernell Whitaker with Mike Tyson, right?
Yes.
Like he's a southpaw.
In those two comparisons, too.
Yeah, he's a southpaw who's outboxing you in the pocket with hand speed and counter punching and upper body movement and stuff.
Yes,
and then he's a vicious finisher. Can we really talk about the battle for British boxing?
Without
Because let me
talking
tell you
about
something about Moses Atama. Part of me suspects that he's not seasoned enough. And the number one thing is he doesn't have long arms. Like Atama he's 6'4 plus, so he has today a guy like Jalalov or certain guys are going to be much taller. Fury is going to be much taller, but 6'4 plus is still good enough height. His reach is under 80 inches, I want to say, and it looks it, right? So I always thought, man, when Usyk says he doesn't want to wreck this kid, he's probably telling the truth. When guys like Fury said, I'm not interested in these young guys, maybe they have a point. But the more I hear these older guys talk and they never want to fight Atama, the more I think they don't want to fight Atama because Atama is a whole lot.
Absolutely. And when it comes to dealing with big men, if he didn't faint, someone was on the show. I wanted to bring this up. It was Rosado. Dave Rosado was here. He said, Moses Atama reminds me of Michael Moore. Moses Atama, to me, is a southpaw that's total opposite than a Michael Moore. He's not a stationary southpaw. He doesn't give you a target. He's almost like Max say, like a Pernell Whitaker. It's almost like hit me if you can, but if you miss, I'm gonna make you pay very violently. I say that to say McKinney was a very tall guy, 6'2" with his lead hand up. Moses treated him accordingly, like I said in the breakdown. So many feints down. He bring these big guys down. So he's taking guys that's 6'8" and bringing them down to a 6'4" because of his feint game.
Right.
So I don't think dealing with the height will be a problem. But he do have small arms, but his speed makes up for that, man.
Yeah,
because he gets to the
no
target.
question. But I
Yes.
just wondered if coming into some of these long, tall Eastern European awkward styles, would that reach be an issue? Now, by the way, when Malik and I say Pernell Whitaker, Mike Tyson, for those of you out there who are mentally challenged, we are not saying he boxes as well as Pernell Whitaker.
No.
Right? Like sometimes it doesn't matter how clearly you lay this out. People say, oh, you say he is as good. No. What we're saying is stylistically, he's a southpaw who stays in front of you, boxes you in semicircles in the middle of the ring, and is able to hit and not get hit.
Your favorite style of boxing?
That's my favorite. But he does it more aggressively than most guys do, and with bad intentions. So he's looking to knock you out. Can we talk British boxing and not talk Atama?
No, I don't think you can. I think, like you said, this is a battle for the biggest star in British boxing to crown the best of an era. But Moses definitely has next. He was actually at the Fury fight. And I think we're going to see Moses in bigger fights sooner than later, maybe even the end of this year.
But I think it's more of that. What Mike just said, the star right now, right? AJ Fury. Moses, he got some time. He's young. His resume's not there yet, so he got time to wait. But right now, it's about Fury and AJ. Let me tell you something. This fight is a fight for British boxing. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, to see who will duck Moses Atama next. Right? That the winner of this fight will duck Moses Atama. The loser might too, but the winner will certainly duck. Like Atama's, I gotta say it, he's kind of being ducked right now. Is it ducked or like?
I'm being ducked.
No, but I think
Somebody want to win him.
so.
And it's a lot of
And by the way,
excuses
I can't
that's coming in
believe
front of
I
it.
can't believe as the words come out of my mouth, I can't believe
And
it.
we're not having no
I
picks
can't-
when
I
saying
can't-
who's
I can't
ducking
say
or me.
duck.
All
I
this
can't say that.
Thanksgiving. Come on, Shady.
How come? Okay, if you can't
Can't
say
say
duck,
that.
why aren't people mentioning
Risk.
him by name?
Risk
Why are people
risk
not?
versus reward.
I actually believe that. But that's what a duck is. No.
It's covered up as that, right, Max?
That's not true. One no would have been.
That's not necessarily true because you could just be, let's say Itama is a hard fight for you, right? You could still get other big money fights before you get to him. One, to make more money, and two, to get yourself sharper to be as best as you can to fight somebody like Itama.
Fine. Why are you saying no so much?
Because-
No. That sounds like a yes.
Because I'm learning, now when it's business, if I'm going here and get whooped on and this and that, and I still could beat this guy, I want to get paid like this.
I see. In other words, Atama.
Exactly what I just said.
It's a business too.
You're saying they will fight him when he becomes worth the money, commensurate to the risk.
Right.
But the point is, he's already seen as a real risk.
Yes.
In a way, other guys are not.
Let me ask you, Max, before we leave this segment.
Yeah.
You telling me, because you love Usyk like I do.
Yeah.
If the money was right there, he was, let's say he was just as big as Tyson Fury, Moses was. You think Usyk gonna duck that dude?
I don't think Usyk ducks any man.
That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't
get
think.
to. That's
I
what
think
I'm trying-
Usyk went, and I think
Tyson Fury the same.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
But I think I agree. Now Tyson Fury's got all the heart in the world. Usyk and Fury are both all-time great heavyweight champs. They are, to become the real heavyweight champ, not of a sanctioning body, but of the world, the Ring Magazine heavyweight champ. There have only been, X number of fighters, 30-something, who've ever done it. Among those, there's the great heavyweight champs. Usyk and Fury are both great heavyweight champs.
Come on, man.
They're that way because they'll fight anybody. But they're not in a hurry to say Moses
Well, listen,
Thomas.
let Turkey pull up with that big bag on Netflix. They gonna fight.
Why do you think Turkey tweeted out about Atama and Usyk in a way where a lot of people thought it was premature? It was like, oh, he's not ready yet, because Turkey, as a boxing fan, felt the same thing we all did, right? But he's in a position to actually direct people's attention to that fight. So he tweets Atama and Usyk. Oh no, it's too soon. It's too soon. Except everybody after the Atama fight's thinking the same thing.
Everybody wants to see it.
Everyone wants to see it.
Yes.
Ring Magazine has updated its heavyweight rankings. Tyson Fury has re-entered the rankings at number 3.
Absolutely.
Behind Fabio Wardley and Caballel. Do you guys agree with that ranking? Here's the rankings. The champ is Usyk.
I do not, Max. I would put Fury number 1. I understand that, he was removed for inactivity. When he left, he was number 1. And I know it's about wins, but let's not forget those 2 losses, which are Alexander Usyk, the first fight.
UK has 4 people in the top 10 for the heavyweights right now. It's crazy. I didn't realize that.
A split decision loss, very competitive. Second fight, not as competitive, but still competitive. So
I think I can
Fury
turn you
number
around.
1.
I think I can turn you
I
around.
like this list.
He's gonna be by himself in
Hey,
this
real
one.
quick, guys. This list is a good list, right? But I think Richard Torres being the only American on here. Not only he's the only American on here, he's the only fighter in the world that's calling out Moses Atama.
Love that about Torres.
Not
And by the
only
way,
he's the
I
only one in the
mentioned
top 10,
Jalalov,
but he's calling Moses out.
I mentioned
aggressively.
Jalalov. He fought Jalalov. The reason he didn't win a gold medal is because he came up against essentially a professional fighter who's fighting amateur, right?
Yes.
At that point, who's a 6'8" southpaw, awkward boxer puncher.
Yes.
Who was basically not even in the same division of him. Otherwise, Torres would have the gold medal.
Absolutely.
I like the list though, just because I'm all about when people win, they got to get rewarded, and if you lose, you got to get ducked from that. So the deduction should be him being not 1 but 3. I'm okay with that.
I'll turn Coppinger around like this.
Turn him around. Whoa,
You're right in terms of pure merit. You're right. Tyson Fury should still be the number 1 contender. However, there's a tradition in boxing where when the champion loses and then gets a rematch and loses that, you drop him below maybe even sometimes some fighters who you think he's better than or has a better resume than because they haven't had their shot yet.
Fair enough.
And when rankings really determine who got the next shot, the guys waiting in line like Caballel, the guys who risk things to get that ranking like Fabio Wardley, who have not yet had a shot at the title.
That's a good one.
Because Wardley, I know he has a belt, but he's not the champion. The champion is Usyk. They need their shot.
If you look at it that way, I agree with you, Max. You're right. You have to give those guys their shot. And I want to say, when we're talking British boxing, if Fabio Wardley can knock out Dubois and deliver a statement, he has to be in that conversation too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, Max, so it's the loss and the rematch you're saying?
Yeah, you lose the title, and then you get an immediate rematch to the guy, and you lose that too. Now there are guys waiting in line. You held the title for all this time.
Yes.
You defended it. You lost it. You got another crack. Fabio Wardley hasn't had a shot at the real title. Caballel is waiting patiently for a shot at the real title.
If he lose the rematch and he just lost, where would you put him at?
I would still probably have him number 1 because he would deserve the next shot, in my opinion.
I think you shouldn't be allowed to stay number 1.
I don't think so either. He lost.
But I'm saying, if you're the heavyweight champ and you lose a competitive fight to the guy who's now champ, if they keep you number 1 in the rankings, okay, you deserve a rematch. Like
it's
look at your resume.
Rewarded.
That's what I'm saying. You lost.
No, that's fair, Max. When you get the rematch, yes.
Yeah, once you get the rematch,
that's fair.
After the rematch, you're saying.
Yeah, because look at his resume for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Look at all
You're-
the guys he's beaten together.
You do have to take into consideration the resume. Anybody could lose in boxing.
But a guy like Worley who's winning, right? Give him. He should jump over him because you lost. He won
After one loss.
Yeah.
I think the champ deserves a rematch.
Yes.
After the rematch.
But I'm saying if you don't get the rematch, I'm saying if you don't get the rematch, right, and he loses,
He got to go down.
It's like the whole Canelo thing. Like I love Canelo, but yo, there's no way you should still be there.
Canelo did go down though. He was champion and he went to war.
I know,
that's
but
going down.
but Crawford,
going down.
I know, but Crawford, he's left, right? He's gone.
Retired.
But he did drop, is what I'm saying. If Canelo was 1, he would have been 2 right now. You go from champion to 1.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
So you're right.
Like that, I guess.
But I turned Cop around. I told you I would
Yeah,
watch this, and I did.
Go on, loop around.
By the way, and Moses is ranked right because there are guys who are more accomplished at heavyweight than him, so he's at 6. I think those rankings. By the way, most of the ring rankings, almost always, if you don't exactly agree, it's pretty damn close, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Look at that. For those watching on YouTube, head over to the Zone to catch the rest of the show. Coming up, we get into Conor Benn versus Regis Prograis. This is Inside the Ring.
Yes.
Yo, what's going on, world? This your boy Najee from Cigar Talk, and today I have a very special guest, man. Listen, this guy's the guy, man. This is one of the hottest promoters in the game, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
How are you, mate?
Amazing. How are you, sir?
Liking your new abode. Very cool, yeah.
It's like my Manhattan flat.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
You know what I'm saying? I was at the press conference yesterday. I'm not the guy that takes too much out of face-offs. Sometimes, once in a while, that one was interesting.
Yeah,
they didn't.
5 minutes.
Yo, dude,
Yeah.
they just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It was like it was a thing. Did you take anything from that?
I think that, to be honest, it's a big moment for both guys. Like, Xander's come onto the scene. He's an incredible young talent. I mean, like, ability, marketing, promotion, one of the hottest in the game right now. Then you've got Boots, who has already been doing it in Philly. Like everyone been talking about him for a long time, but hasn't yet had this kind of fight and this kind of moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite refreshing in a fight because you get two guys who are probably a little bit edgy. Generally builds to a great event on the night because they'll be super sharp and super dialed in and excited. I mean, that's the key. Like, this isn't a Canelo fight where it's like he's doing it again. He's done it 20 times before. This is two young studs who are putting it all on the line on the biggest stage with two belts on the line. So, yeah, I liked it. I like Xander. I can't knock him. I mean, especially at 23, it's crazy. Like that you're willing to take this risk.
It is crazy. You know, he kind of, to me, because of the
I didn't realize Xander's eyes was 23.
age, has like the young, I really don't give a shit kind of attitude.
But that's
about
dangerous.
It is.
Like that's dangerous as a competitor because I'm kind of sitting there going, wait a minute. Like, firstly, if I'm top rank, I'm just not advising you to take this fight right now. A fighter can overrule that, which is, I think, here, like top rank are very cautious in their matchmaking for young fighters, which is like, you know, it's a good thing, but not always a great thing for the sport. But it's a job. And the kid says, and obviously the team say, no, we want the fight. I'm like, because when the Ortiz fight fell apart, I'm like, and the pressure's on, you know, it's like, Eddie, you had your run out at 54, right? Now we want a big fight. Okay, we've got Ortiz. That falls apart. And it's like, who are we going to get?
Right.
Charlo's crazy. Fundora's just full, like, you know, but he don't really want to fight Boots, I don't think. But, like, Josh Kelly we've got, but he's, you know, looking around and he wanted Zayas as well. And it just, you know, I was really surprised when it got done. Because I said to the guys in the office, I went, no chance. No chance. No, he really wants it. I said, he might want it, but they're just not going to let him take the fight.
Yeah.
So respect to him. You know?
Well, how do you balance that, right? Because you said that at the press conference. You're like, hey, listen, if I was the
I'm just
promoter,
being honest.
we're
Like,
going to Puerto Rico.
Loads of
I'm
people have responded to that
Yeah.
going, Eddie, you go, but I'm just being honest. Like, I know how to bring a fighter through, but, you know, if I believed in the fighter and I believed he was good enough to win, I wouldn't hold him back. But, and that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit scary because they obviously think he can win.
Yeah.
And he definitely thinks he can win.
So you don't think he can win?
I mean, listen, it's a dangerous fight, but I think I'm very confident that Boots not just wins, but puts a performance together where everyone goes, wow. But I think this guy's bubbling. I mean, I think he's a top 10 pound for pound fighter now, but I understand if you look at his resume, Stanionis win he was the best in the division. That was 1v2.
Yeah.
But you need those wins to rack up the points on the pound for pound list. I think this is the fight that puts him on the pound for pound list. And then I think, but you know,
is he talking about instantly putting him on the pound for pound list, or eventually he'll be on the pound for pound list with that fight on his resume?
Like everyone in boxing knows how good Boots is. It's not like, but you still got to show it. And that's the only argument is we haven't seen him had to show it too much.
With guys
So,
like this, but you know what? Boots is also guys that have the potential to be top pound for pound. Comes with unfair expectations, right? Like a win sometimes just isn't good enough for certain guys, and unfortunately, I think he's one of those guys that just the win, I don't know, satisfies the public, the pundits.
I think the difference is with him as well. It's a unique blend of ring IQ and aggression.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you get a lot of guys that have a tremendous IQ, but they're not that great to watch. He's different. He actually, you know, he'll sit in the pocket. He can fight on the inside. He can fight long. Sometimes he takes too many shots because he's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. But you can't, listen, if you want to avoid criticism, get out of boxing because it's like, you know, you go in there, you entertain, you get hit, and then it's like, oh, you got hit a lot. And then you box on the outside and don't get hit. It's like you're boring.
Right,
So what do you
right.
want? I mean, I like his style because I think it's a very entertaining style.
Was it a lot of pressure for you? Just, you know, it felt like you were kind of starting to get well, Boots hasn't fought anybody. Eddie, what are you doing? Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, we got to deliver. I mean, like when we signed him, we fought Avanesian. We sold 15,000 in Philly when they told me he couldn't sell. So that was huge. Then we had to fight the mandatory, which is a disaster, Shudazian, because he'd already fought him.
Yeah.
But it's either fight him or lose your belt. So we fight him, we did like 11,000. So then it gets the momentum of, Eddie, he's been with you for 2 fights now.
Yeah.
Like you need to deliver. And then there was a lot of pressure to deliver that unification. We delivered Stanionis. He won that fight in style, looked fantastic. That was at Atlantic City.
Yeah.
In
And then it's
style.
like, okay, he's moving to 54. And it's like, okay, let's go straight into a big fight. Boots and the guy said, look, I would just quite like a fight at 54 before I gamble. I just want to feel the weight. I want to feel my body, which is very reasonable, but not to a boxing fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So then we do Lima. He destroys him in a round. And Lima can actually fight, but obviously, you
We
know,
didn't see that.
then it was like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah,
Like, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And then it's like, now the pressure's back on. So we've done it again. We've delivered again.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you can be the greatest fighter in the world. If you don't get the opportunities, if you don't get the right fights, if you don't get the platform, it's all irrelevant. And the hardest thing with Boots is everyone knows how good he is. And it was like the Chudasian fight, which was a okay performance, allowed us actually to get the Stanionis fight.
The second
Because
one.
they watched that fight and
The
they,
second one,
the second one.
yeah,
But
yeah.
they watched that fight and they was like,
Actually, maybe we
he's
could.
beatable. Yeah. And then
yeah.
he destroyed Stanionis and everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think here what will happen is, you know, we got Josh Kelly as well, who beat Mertzalayev.
Mhm.
We want to try and make Josh Kelly against Fundora. The
Yeah.
winner of that fight fights the winner of Boot Zayas. You've got an undisputed champion.
That's a good fight. Okay. I mean, obviously, we have to talk about the Virgil situation. I mean, what made that negotiation so difficult? Because with the Xander one, Xander told me, he's like, yo, we did this in a couple of days. It was
It
easy.
was mainly the contractual dispute with Virgil and Golden Boy. I mean, that was the truth of it. I got to say, like, I don't think anyone didn't want the fight. I know that Virgil wanted the fight. I know he did. But obviously, he left Golden Boy. Golden Boy disputed that. And then they had a court cut. And it was like, you know, that fight was pretty much there to be done. It's a little bit of a blessing because that fight, as good as it was, came with no belts.
Yeah.
So like this fight now presents itself. Boots can become a two-time, two-weight, twice unified world champion, which you couldn't get through the Ortiz fight. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
It's an unbelievable fight, and it will happen. But yeah, it was like when that fell apart, we were like.
But I mean, even before the Golden Boy dispute, it felt like it was just. I'm just speaking from a public standpoint. I don't know privately what's going on, but it felt like it was a lot of back and forth, and it just couldn't come together. What was that like? That part, like why?
So we had a meeting in the DAZN offices with DAZN and Golden Boy, and we agreed a deal, which was 50-50, which I thought more than fair. But Oscar said that he wanted an extra percentage for the winner. He said, like, you know, backing his guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So we agreed 55-45 to the winner. And then it just
pretty reasonable.
Never really progressed. And from there, obviously later on, they had their differences and
That's vague. Why didn't it progress?
I don't know why it never really progressed. I felt like we left
So just say you don't know initially.
that meeting with a deal. Really.
Or maybe you do know and you're dancing around it.
Yeah. But things happen, and then I think DAZN got quite aggressive on the fight and started sort of trying to say to Matchroom and Golden Boy, let's do it. We were making some momentum. Then those guys split, and it just kind of slipped away. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I met with Virgil, his manager, and he told me Virgil wants to fight.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe them. And I think Oscar wants to make great fights. So, you know.
Do you think there was a point where, because I know at one point Turkey did an interview once and he was like, you know, I was interested in trying to make the fight, but, you know, I guess when Boots said he needed a tune-up, he kind of was like, you know, I'm not interested anymore, kind of. That was his vibe. Do you think there wasn't a point where he wanted to step in, or do you think he was already kind of...
Turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he loved the fight, but Boots has never... Like, Boots thinks the Saudi stuff's amazing, but he really wants to fight in the US. Like, when there was a chance to do the fight in Riyadh, he was just like, this is a big US fight. I think he feels like he can really make big fights in the US.
Yeah.
So we don't rule out the Riyadh opportunity. It's been great for boxing, but I think it's pretty cool that this fight's taking place in New York.
I agree. Do you feel like Turkey's kind of... He's not as visible as he was, I would say, like last year. I don't know if it's just, you know, it doesn't feel like as many cards. He doesn't talk in public as much anymore. Do you feel like, is it Is the presence still the same to you? Like it says,
Yeah, I think he's busy. You know, I mean, boxing's a small part. It's a big passion for him.
Yeah.
But he has a huge job in terms of, you know, running the General Entertainment Authority in Saudi Arabia, and you know, his profile has become really big. I think the reality is as a business, it's hard to justify.
Yeah.
You know, especially the level of spend, and I think they've streamlined their operation a lot better. I don't think they're spending crazy money anymore like they used to, because there needs to be a business case for these events. Like, you can't just do a show and lose 20 million and go right on to the next one. Like, how long is that going to last for? It's not sustainable. So I think their model's changed a little bit, and I think the ring cards are great. Like, I think Shakur against Tio was a brilliant night. I really liked the night at the Flushing Meadows, the tennis court.
I like that. That was a nice
it
stadium.
was great atmosphere. So that it's undeniable what he's done for the sport. And the truth is, there's no other reason that he's doing it other than his love and passion for boxing, which I think has to be admired. You know, like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously, you know, bubbling up the noise and the profile of Saudi Arabia in the process, which is, you know, good for their country and moving forward. But he has a real passion for boxing. But sometimes that passion can get you carried away.
Yeah.
And that's one of the toughest things about the business, is just keeping your head, you know, and not, because I love boxing. I love giving people opportunities. I love building an unbelievable night, because I'm a fan and I'm looking at it like, this is a great night of boxing. But you've also, like Frank Smith, who's our CEO, I call him Bottom Line Frank, right? Because he's always but you need that.
Yeah, you do.
You can't just go in, because otherwise I'd put 20 fights on a night and we'd lose money. But we've got, you know, we have to be sustainable.
How is it for you that, you know, it felt like at one point with working with Turkey, you were the guy, right? You were his guy. That's what it felt. I'm just speaking outside looking in. And then obviously Dana comes in, and now it seems like the relationship's changed. I don't know personally, whatever, but business-wise, how was that for you? Like, you know, I'm the guy, and now this new guy's here.
I never felt like the guy, because, you know, when we came in, Frank Warren was the guy. He had what Turkey wanted. Then Turkey wanted to work more with AJ. So I was the guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we've never not
Like the video, if you found value in the stream so far for me.
been in that association, but whether you're the guy or not depends on what he wants at the time. So right now, you know, we've just finished a new deal with him across a lot of his events, snooker, darts, like Riyadh season, like, because, and one of the reasons is that because he wants to make AJ Fury. Do you know what I mean? So that's, so you get in those conversations, and I'm able to talk to him about the other stuff. Oh yeah, we must do that. We must do that. You know, rather than Eddie's got no fights I'm interested at the moment. And I think if you understand people, and he's pretty honest, like he won't pretend that I'm the guy, but he'll tell me that when I've got something he wants, I'm the guy.
Right.
Which is,
But at least he's
people go,
upfront,
oh,
though.
that's a bit disrespectful. Not really. As long as you know the situation that you're in, that's cool. It was always the same with Canelo Alvarez when I promoted him. He's like, I love working with you. You know, whilst you keep having what I need and want, we're going nowhere.
Yeah.
But by the way, if you don't have anything for me and someone else has something better, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can respect
that. Yeah. But and Turkey's the
It's
same.
just business.
So I never look at it like, you know, the Dana stuff. I know Turkey, and I know that Dana will come and go, and Turkey will like it, then he won't like it, then they'll argue.
Yeah.
Then it might all fall apart, or he might double down. Like, anything's possible.
I like what feels like a rivalry now with you and Dana. I kind of like it. You know, one is it's entertaining just to watch it, but two, I mean, I think there's something good about healthy competition, right? Like people going at it in that way. I mean,
So boxing is based off. That's what it should be. It's what it should have been this whole time.
He's always like disparaging you online. He called you pussy the other day on Aiden Ross's show. I think that was yesterday. He's always going at you, man.
Yeah. We've always got on pretty well, actually. I do respect him. I mean, the business that they've built is incredible. Like the UFC, I don't think the model's fair, but they make a lot of money. And then obviously he comes into boxing and just things change a little bit. You become a rival. It doesn't have to be nasty. But then he came straight out the gate really saying, you know, Eddie Hearn, these guys, they don't have any vision. And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, basically every time we've met, you've always told me that I'm the guy in boxing and I'm the one that you kind of look at and know we do it properly. Now you're saying all this. So then I have to respond. You know, I come in interviews and Dana White said this about you. What have you got to say? Oh, fucking you know, and then it just all begins. But you see, there's a lot of method to the madness because I'm a UK promoter in the US. And Dana's doing my job for free. Really, like all he's doing is talking about me. When he's doing a UFC press conference, I mean, we signed Aspinall. We've got a number of big UFC fighters that we'll be signing as well.
Yeah.
Now he's doing his UFC press conferences. He's talking about me again. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's great for, and everyone's building this up as boxing right now is Eddie v. Dana. Cool.
Right.
Like, even if I lose, which I won't, that's the, you know, and everybody else is kind of bubbling down here. So I'm happy to be in the fight.
Yeah.
Because they're serious people. And if I can put myself in on that level in a 2-horse race, I'm very happy. But what they don't know is anything about boxing. And the reality is you can be powerful, but it's not the same as smart in the boxing game. It's a very different business. And I don't really think they know what they're doing.
So you don't get worried by the conglomerate, right? Like TKO Group and this and that
powerful,
and Paramount.
but powerful, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, what you can't do is come out and say, you know, I mean, these guys aren't competition, like talking about me and stuff like that. I mean, but what are you doing? Absolute. Like, the reality is, judge on what they've done so far, right? And I know they've said we've only been in the game 5, 6 months, whatever, but we're seeing the same thing all the time, which is low-level cards with guys generally you've never heard of fighting in a garage, like in front of 100 people.
Yeah.
Where's the vision there? Like, you know, these guys, they never change.
Wouldn't it be the promoter's job to make sure these guys are heard of?
What are you changing? What, you have to wear Zuffa shorts?
Right.
Or you get a free tracksuit when you fight? Or you can have a meal in the gym at the UFC? Like, it's not exactly groundbreaking, is it? So, but I still give them the respect to say, no, the group is a powerful group. But you can have power, but if you're not smart and you don't understand it, it doesn't really matter. Because boxing's not just one of those sports you can come in and just like switch it up. But I think they're lazy as well. I think they've become very lazy on the UFC as well. Like, look at the UFC; it's dying. Like, the reality is, you see, there's an event in Miami this week. The tickets are on the floor. Who's the stars of the UFC? Like, and the way that they're promoting now, you know, when you come off pay-per-view,
I would have to disagree that Carlos Ulberg fight, when he came back and beat him, when he messed up his leg, that went pretty viral. You can't necessarily just say that UFC is dying based on ticket prices. They have other avenues of money, and they just signed a big deal with Paramount, which takes away the pay-per-view model. So from a business standpoint, that's going to bring in a lot of extra fans and a lot of more watch views.
Quite interesting. I like the model, but you're just not aggressive anymore as a promoter. You know, like when you're selling pay-per-views, it's like life and death every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, what we got to do? Let's get out there. We've got to push the show. And that builds the ecosystem of the event.
Right.
Now you're just getting your money, right? And the money's the same whether it's a good audience, a bad audience. It doesn't really matter. So now you've just got Dana going, all right, film this. What's up, everybody? Yeah, this Saturday. But, we got so-and-so against so-and-so, so-and-so.
Right.
Right, that'll do. It's like, that's going to affect, and on the boxing front, there was a show last Sunday. I didn't even know it was on. I only saw it on Monday. I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think once you strip away, there's a saying that I always use, which is fur coat, no knickers.
What's knickers?
Knickers is underwear, right?
Okay.
So what it means is, you know, when you come out in a big fur coat, but when you strip it back, there's nothing really underneath. So this is how I see those guys, fur coat, no knickers, which is, you know, look at us, we're walking down in a beautiful mink jacket. You take it off, there's actually nothing underneath. Because when you say to them, tell me your plan. They go, yeah, with no governing bodies, like they're gone. And then all of a sudden they're moaning that someone's been stripped of a world championship.
Yeah.
Now they want to work with the governing bodies, apparently, right? Yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to create a league. Where's the league? You know, what is the actual plan? And I don't think they really have a plan. So we'll see. But also,
how do you feel about the signings now with Richardson, Hitchens, and Berlanga?
Yeah, but no one wanted those guys. Like, the reality is we We had a couple of chats. We had those guys under contract a year ago. Belanga, his contract was up. He got knocked out. Hitchens, we fell out with because of his comments, mainly Keith Connolly's. And then we just told Keith Connolly like 2 months ago, I'm not interested in working with you again. So Belanga and Hitchens, no offer from Matchroom.
Okay.
Golden Boy, I think, had some chats with Hitchens. Top Rank weren't interested. So I think it's good deal for the fighters. Like, what else were they going to do? The bad news is Belanga and Hitchens are different. Hitchens actually, it's a shame for Hitchens because I think he's good enough to sort of have a legacy in the sport. Now, 7, and he's going to fight for the Zuffa belt, which is like literally the
Carols. You know me as always. We got Quez in the building. Very, very, very special episode for y'all. Y'all know I gotta read my bio so I don't fuck it up. So we got one of the best fighters in the world.
But you don't know Shakur Stevenson's credentials?
Newark's on. Hold on, let me read it. Hold on. Newark's on. And stop me, but correct me if I leave anything out or list. BC champion.
So far, I'm unimpressed with this podcast. This is our first time reviewing it.
Undefeated. 2 fighters. Shakur Stevenson, welcome to the show.
What up, my guy?
What's up, champ? How you feel, man?
First off, what's gonna shine like a motherfucker, boy? I'm like a proud uncle.
I need to go back in my bag. Hold on. You know, I like that jewelry shit too. Tuck mine up. How you feel, man? You
I'm
good?
good, though. I'm good. I'm good to be here with y'all, you know. But you're an athlete too, so it kind of make it more understandable. You really can understand kind of where I'm coming from. And, you know, you set this up, so I respect you too. So appreciate y'all.
All right, but listen though, bro. This ain't no ESPN shit. All right, so we gonna talk some shit. I guess my first thing I want to know. We watched the last fight. One of the best fights that I've seen in recent years. A real masterclass, start to finish. What's obviously I can relate to like the build up to training for the moment, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, what's it like after that? What's the shit that people don't see after you train, you work your ass off, you know what you about to do. But going into that fight, I don't think it was such a landslide of people who thought it was gonna go like that, and then you put that show on. So like once you stand on top of that ring and you have your moment, what's it like after that?
After that shit, it's kind of like you get your adrenaline pumping, you pumped up, and all for that one moment. Like I grinded hard for that one moment, and then after it's like once it cooled down, it's like shit. You just want to be with your family and shit. Like you just want to sit back with your daughter and chill. Cause in my profession, I gotta be away from my child for a certain amount of time. After the fight, it's like shit. I just want to be next to her. Like I don't want to leave her side. So after that shit, I just stay with my family, chill. And now for me, it's like back to the grind, back to working on my craft. I seen some shit in my last fight that I want to work on. So now I'm kind of like working on that and making sure all bases is covered.
So how long before you get back in the gym?
Shit, I'm already back in the gym.
I'm saying like how long from the fight?
After the fight,
like how long you take off?
I took off like a month.
Oh, that's good. That ain't bad.
What did you do during that month? During that month, I just played the game. I played Call of Duty, 2K and shit. So
that's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta be locked in. So like when we won the championship, I partied the whole summer. I'm talking about 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But obviously, and you fighting what, once, twice a year?
Yeah, once, twice a year. But me, I don't like partying. Like I ain't really kind of party type of dude. Like shit, when motherfuckers like you gotta realize when you go to a club, it's just like you gonna play music and everybody around dancing and shit. But for me, that ain't really. I like going to the gym. I like playing competitive games. I go play pickleball and ping pong or basketball.
Yeah, I know you think you can hoop a little bit.
I really can hoop.
I know you think you can hoop a little bit. I seen your jumper. I already seen your tape. That's why I ain't sweating on that shit you talking about. But I ain't gonna hold you though. That's one of the things I respect about you. And I was talking to Mark about this. I feel like because you are 28 now. Yeah, so I'm 32. So I feel like I've seen a generation of like guys that when I was growing up, you had to fight. That was like more the crop of boxers. It was like they had to fight. And now I feel like it's guys in the sport that's just doing it for money or for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see
The guys
you
is
in the club. I don't want to see you partying. Like that just it don't go hand in.
the guys that's doing it for the money is because they have to fight. If you want to get a lot of money, you're not going to choose fighting as the first option.
Hand with me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's always gonna be slippage. Not that you can't do both, but like I like the guys that's like true to the craft. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
me.
And I feel like you one of those guys, and it shows. Other thing I was gonna ask you, do you let your daughter go to the fights?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why I do, because I'm like 1,000,000% confident in like winning. Yeah, but like if I was a guy that's like not that good, I wouldn't let my daughter come.
Yeah.
Because if I get knocked out of my daughter gotta watch that shit, hell
That's
no.
crazy.
But I believe in myself, so I'm cool with it. Like I
Did
know.
you and for those, we got a lot of casual fans, people that don't even watch fights, and so y'all need to go back and watch his last fight against T.O. But did you know it was gonna go like that? Did it go how you thought it was gonna go?
I knew it could go like that.
Yeah.
But did I know? Nah, hell no. I thought it was like, I was nervous. I'm like, shit, this
Yeah.
T.O., like, I've been around him for years. I know he the truth. I know he gonna come fully prepared. But I knew, like, stylistically, I'm the better fighter. Like, I always been better than he was. But he was a good fighter to where, you know, you got to respect him. But I didn't. It was like 50-50.
And a good athlete in general.
That one interview when you were like, oh, I'm scared. How did that come about? You was like, you know what I'm saying? When he popped this shit, or
He was just like making it seem like he's gonna knock me out. Like, all right, bro, like he trying to scare me or intimidate me, and it's like, bro, I don't really get intimidated. Like, I know, like me at my best versus any of the guys you name, I'm coming out on top. I don't care who it is.
Let me ask you real quick, like as far as like just like the confidence and shit like that, do you respect the fighter more that don't talk a lot or the ones that really pop their shit? You know what I'm saying? Because you see it like in both kind of spectrums.
I don't think like it don't make a difference because like certain fighters, like if you think of like Floyd Mayweather, he pop it, but he could back that shit up.
Yeah.
And then you think of like me, I'm kind of like humble, but sometimes I may pop it, but it's just dependent. But I could back it up too. But I'll be probably more like gotta watch the quiet ones, like the ones that's just quiet and sitting there. Them the ones you really gotta
Can't
watch.
read them, yeah.
But like I think it don't really matter as long as you put the work in, and you the best, it's gonna show up.
Going back to the last fight again, I feel like I seen a lot of blood in that fight. Am I tripping? Like the way you stood in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Just from my eyes, just watching it from home, and obviously I know.
I see where he's coming from. You could definitely say that.
Know how much you have him and Dre around. My only two pro fights that I ever been to was Bud and Spence, and then Bud and Canelo.
Yeah.
So like watching it live, and then I'm watching you, and I'm like, this ain't the same shit I've been seeing. Cause I ain't gonna lie, a couple of them fights you had, I'm over that motherfucker like, all right, bro, come on with this defense. I'm trying to see some action, bro. Like, cause you capable of that. Like, you got that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that fight was like, all right, nah, I'm gonna give you both offense and defense.
I think it do got something to do with Bud because I got to watch his situation. But it's also me. Like I took it like for what it was. So like certain fights, how you saying like, oh come on, certain times I'll probably take it a certain way and like I don't take it as serious as I should. And I come in that bitch and I'm okay, I know I'm gonna beat
you're gonna win.
I know I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
So with him, I was kind of nervous of the fact like it's a risk. Like nigga, you could lose. Like nigga could fuck around, catch you with a shot and hurt you or something. But I just took it 100% serious and I made sure all bases was covered. And it probably like it had something to do with Bud because I watched the way he took his shit. I watched the way he took Spence. I watched the way he took Canelo, and I'm like, shit, okay, I see what you got to do to get to the greatness point. So I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. At this current point in time, there's no fighter in the world that could beat me.
No, I believe you. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Stand up. I don't got that.
And we're gonna talk about the division and what's next for you. How did we're gonna go?
Oh, he sound like he hot.
Back a little bit. How did those relationships come about with you and Dre, and then you and Bud?
Shit, Dre was my favorite fighter when I was a little kid. Like I used to come up and watch Andre Ward, and he was the last one who won the Olympic gold medal. So my goal was to always be the next person to win the gold medal. I came up short and got the silver, but